All right, guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the stream. Welcome if you are new and if it is your first time joining us. Really appreciate you guys being here. And as always, I appreciate you guys being patient as the intro does what it does so we can allow more people to file in here. Trying to, again, interact with you guys in the chat a little bit. Talk to you for a little bit. I'm not sure if that background sound is coming through or not. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna need some feedback on the audio. Do you hear me okay? Do you hear any background noise? What's going on? It's difficult for me to tell. I'm not wearing headphones, so please let me know. We have Boss here joining us right off the bat today. Didn't want to keep him waiting. Didn't want to keep you guys waiting. You guys are saying it sounds fine? All right, good. All right. That's good to know. So I hope everybody's doing well today. We have quite a few different topics to go over and talk about. This is the last stream of April, and obviously we're going into May starting tomorrow, and May should be a particularly interesting month, but it does seem like we have some pretty solid topics to cover here with the last stream of April. Sir Chunks a lot, yes. Amazing nickname. Love it. We have Who the Hell is Carlos right up front here with a milestone chat. A member for 5 months. He says, "Thank you for the stream today. Just quit my job and I'm feeling a bit down, but glad you're on to make me feel better. Any tips on finding something better? Thanks." Well, I'm glad I can help in any way, Carlos. It's it's always disappointing when you leave a job, whether it's quitting or obviously getting laid off or fired or something like that. But any tips on finding something better? I don't know that I'm the most qualified person to necessarily be giving advice, but I'll just keep it pretty general. And I would say, just try to use this opportunity to think, right? Assuming you have a little bit of time, like you can afford to think, right? Like you can afford to be a little bit more deliberate if you do have that luxury. Just use the time to think about what it is you really want to put your energy into, what it is you want to pursue, and maybe try to think if there's some kind of passion you have. If there's some kind of passion that you feel very strongly about, something you might want to consider pursuing, consider it. I'm not saying it'll be the best option or the most logical necessarily, but just think. And that's, I guess, the best advice I could give. I don't know what it's like these days. I don't know exactly like firsthand. I do know that it's not ideal. That I can tell just by kind of from the outside looking in. You're saying you're a photographer. Okay, interesting. Well, that sounds like it could be a passion-driven type of career there. So I don't know. I would say again, just put some thought into it. Think real hard about what it is that you feel like is calling to you, and try to rationalize it and really consider whether or not it's something you can actually pursue. You envy my optimism. I probably am being overly optimistic. I won't lie, but I know it's different for everybody. But hopefully that does help a little bit, Carlos. And again, thank you for the milestone chat. Let me fix this setting here really quick. Okay. That should be good. I should be able to keep my mic a little bit further out now. All right, so let me tell you guys the topics that we have to discuss today, what we're going to be going over in depth. One of the topics we're going to be talking about is a PlayStation Studio, in my opinion, and I think in the opinion of many others, fumbling an announcement. We're, of course, talking about Housemarque. I want to go over that situation. I also want to go over what exactly they announced on Returnal's 3rd anniversary. Crazy to think it's already been 3 years. We're also going to be talking, once again, about Stellar Blade, because Stellar Blade is finding huge success, seemingly, which is, in my opinion, great news. And I'm very happy to talk about this and celebrate it. So we're going to go over that information. We're also going to be talking about the Xbox Showcase. It was officially announced today, but what's more interesting, I would say, other than just the announcement itself, is we have some potential leaks already about what Microsoft is planning to show at their upcoming Xbox Showcase. So I want to talk about that, talk about our expectations for that Xbox Showcase, how we're feeling about it, as of right now, and how Sony may or may not react to it. So we're going to talk extensively about that. We're also going to be talking about Rise of the Ronin, as we're getting some information about how this game is performing on PlayStation 5, and it sounds like it's pretty good news. But on the other hand, we are also going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Rebirth and Square Enix, and how Square Enix seems to be in a lot of trouble based off of what we're finding out with their financials. And we're hearing that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth may have severely underperformed, which is obviously disappointing to hear about, but we're going to talk about that extensively as well and the potential implications. And I have one bonus topic that, if time permits, we will go over that as well. So guys, before we dive into any of these topics and discussions, I want to just first off thank everybody for watching. For those who were tuning in live, big shout out to you guys for hanging out with me and tuning in. For those who can't catch the streams live and have to watch them later, I also want to give you guys a shout out. Thank you so much for your viewership and for the support. I also want to take a moment here to ask you guys to please hit that like button. You guys have been doing a phenomenal job lately on the streams, hitting that like button. It's actually genuinely been helping out. I've noticed that the streams are reaching more people, and it's not necessarily like increasing viewership extensively, but the streams are getting in front of new people, and we're getting more exposure here, and we are bringing on some new people to the community. So thank you guys for hitting that like button and letting me know that you enjoy the streams. Now, this channel and this content is purely fan-funded. We don't do sponsorships here. And so because of that, I want to let you guys know the few ways you can help support the channel directly. Number one, consider becoming a channel member. By becoming a channel member, you gain access to some exclusive perks. One of those exclusive perks is the Members Lounge. We will be doing a Members Lounge after today's stream. So if you are a channel member or if you receive a membership gift, make sure you look forward to that. And I also want to let you know that there is another perk, which is exclusive community posts. I don't use Twitter anymore, and instead I decided to direct that energy towards the membership community here. So if you're interested in those types of perks, please consider becoming a member. Second, you can gift channel memberships. It's a big thing we do here. The community really appreciates it, and it goes a long way in supporting the channel. So consider gifting some memberships. And last but not least, consider donating a super chat, ask a question, give an opinion, make a statement, anything in between. It all helps tremendously. And also, just a quick reminder, there is a direct donation link up at the top of the chat through Streamlabs, where if you want to donate that way, 100% of it goes to the content creator. So thank you guys. All right. We have a milestone chat here from Lone Wolf Gamer, member for 11 months. He says, MBG, I'm sure you've already said, but what is your overall opinion of Stellar Blade? It has the highest user rating on Metacritic of 2024 at a 9.3. Yes, we're going to go over that information just to be pretty quick about it, because we are going to talk about that in a little bit. I'm thoroughly enjoying my time with Stellar Blade. It's a very well-made game, and I'm finding it to be extremely satisfying. Specifically, the combat. The combat in Stellar Blade is easily the best I've experienced all year in any video game that I've played. And right now, it's hard to say because, again, I'm still pretty early. I think by this point, I'm 7 or 8 hours in, maybe even close to 9 hours. Right now, if Stellar Blade keeps it up and it remains as satisfying as it is now throughout the entire experience, or it even increases over time, I I think it's safe to say it might be the best game I played all year by quite a margin. I'm enjoying it that much. It's a very, very, very fun video game, and I'm very glad that I purchased it. We also have Cypherpunk here with a super chat saying, "Oh, another Xbox stream. I'm out." Well, no, this stream's definitely not dedicated to Xbox entirely. We are talking about an Xbox topic, which is the showcase for sure. So, obviously I hope you stay, but the topics. I just ran down the list. So if none of those topics interest you, then, I'm sorry to see you go, but hopefully you'll stick around because we do have, I would say most of these topics are PlayStation related, but yeah, I definitely do want to talk about the Xbox showcase because I have some thoughts on it, certainly. So, again, hopefully you guys will be here to hear me out on that. But we are diving into the first topic here, which talks about Returnal, specifically Housemarque, PlayStation Studio fumbles an announcement. So yesterday, I made a video, and in that video, I relayed the news to you guys that Housemarque took to Twitter alongside the PlayStation Studios X-Dev account to tease an announcement that would be occurring today, a Returnal-related announcement. Now, listen, if you go to Housemarque's official Twitter page, okay, and if you go check this announcement, they posted an image of shattered glass with what was clearly the main character of Returnal, like her face, and they simply say tomorrow. This got 1.7 million views, so it trended quite significantly, got a lot of likes, got a lot of attention, and if you go down to the replies, let me see how many replies there are. There's 732 replies. You can tell the excitement and the hype was palpable here. So you have people speculating that this is going to be DLC. You have people speculating that this is going to be a PSVR 2 announcement. You have people speculating that this is going to be, believe it or not, the announcement of Returnal 2, the official sequel to Returnal, which is unfortunate to see that because you could tell quite a few people are not aware that Returnal 2 is not in development. Returnal 2 is not going to be a thing anytime soon because Housemarque is developing a new IP, a new AAA IP. But if you scroll through these replies, as I'm doing right now, a lot of people very, very, very excited. Now, I'm going to tell you why people got so excited so quickly for Housemarque putting this teaser out here. It's mainly because Housemarque has been very quiet. Housemarque has not really done anything like this previously that I'm aware of. Nothing as, I guess you could say, focused as this when it comes to teasing something out. And again, they just haven't been very active on their account in any really meaningful way. So when they saw this pop up, when people saw this pop up in their feed, they definitely thought, oh man, this is abnormal. Housemarque must really be teasing something significant here. They really want my attention. And they definitely got the attention of the internet. There was, mass publication of articles and stories about this. And I'll be honest with you, it quickly got out of hand, in my opinion, where if the goal was to get people interested and intrigued and potentially excited, Housemarque definitely succeeded. Unfortunately, when we see the result of what it is they announced, major letdown. And it sounds to me like people are very, very disappointed about the way Housemarque went about this, where people went from thinking this is going to be a new DLC, PSVR 2 port, or update, or maybe even a new game entirely, to finding out today with the announcement 3 hours ago, another year, another cycle. The third time around, extra loot is exposed with Dark Horse Flare. Returnal Fallen Asteria graphic novel, and Returnal art book, Fallen Asteria animated adaptation. And there you go. That is what Housemarque was hyping up. And man, it was painful to watch this because somebody over at Housemarque did not know what they were doing, clearly. And I feel a little bit bad because I just think that they are not aware. You're saying Dark Horse literally retweeted the announcement. Why did people think anything else? Because, dude, no one... Because it's a pretty big assumption, I would say, that people who are following PlayStation Studios and people who are following Housemarque, I mean, maybe there's a chance they're also following Dark Horse, but I didn't know about that Dark Horse tweet about it, and most people didn't know about it. And I'll be honest with you, I think the biggest fatal flaw that Housemarque made here to basically cause completely unnecessary blowback and backlash from the community is they should have tagged Dark Horse in this. They should have tagged PlayStation Studios. They should have tagged Sony. They should have tagged the PlayStation account, and they should have tagged Dark Horse. Because if they had done that, people would have immediately noticed, like, oh, okay, all right, maybe we calm down. But Dark Horse, that was a separate tweet that most people didn't know about and overlooked, myself included. And so this hype and excitement was basically allowed to get out of hand, and nobody did anything to stop it. And today, listen, I'm not saying it's that big of a deal. Like, I'm not sitting here raging, being like, how dare you, Housemarque? How dare you? It's not that serious. It is disappointing to me, but it's not that serious. However, if we go to their post today, if you go look at the replies, people are very upset. Are people being a little bit extra? Yes, but I'm going to read some of the replies to this announcement today. For, again, it was a graphic novel, an art book, and it's also worth noting that the animated adaptation is just a short 4-minute YouTube video. I did watch it. It's pretty cool, but even the way that they announced this animated adaptation, people are a little bit confused. They were thinking this might be like some kind of Netflix series or something. No, it's just a 4-minute video, and that's basically it. But if we read some of these replies, I'm going to read to you some of the replies. Here come the disappointed overhypers of gaming. So, I mean, yeah, I get it. I'm going to be brutally honest right now. People who think that, like, people need to understand that this idea of be disappointed at all times. No. Sorry, but no. Okay? Like, there are people who are able to do that, where they are able to just approach everything with just a totally, I am expecting nothing, and I will be okay with nothing. That's great. That's good for you. But that's, in my opinion, that's not normal behavior when a studio is teasing something. When a studio is teasing something, especially a studio that's not known to tease something, normal behavior is, ooh, what could this be? Maybe something potentially exciting. I think that's perfectly normal behavior. And this is what happens when stuff like this happens. It almost causes like infighting or something, where nobody was wrong for overhyping this tease. Nobody. You know? Look, did a few people take it too far? Of course, but that's what I mean, again, it's like every year there's a PlayStation showcase. It's like Bloodborne 2 is going to be there, right? It's like, well, no. I mean, like, we could get hype, but come on, you know? Like, there got to be within reason here. So the people who were hyping up a potential DLC, a potential VR, even yesterday, I want to make it known in my video yesterday, when I was talking about this, I did tell people, be careful. You know, could this go in the other direction and be something very small and very underwhelming? Yes. However, even I didn't guess it would be like a comic or an art book. I said, at the very least, maybe they'll announce like a new weapon or two. Like, you know what I mean? Just like here's a new weapon drop for Returnal. So if you want to go back and play it and try it out, replay it with this new gun, something like that. I thought it was something related directly to the game itself, not like an extension of something, like an art book or something. So even then it was like, wow, okay, this actually went lower than I expected. But somebody says here, so no DLC, no sequel, just a comic. No, thank you. That's it. What the F is this? No DLC. Bro, I came for the potential of DLC. We thought this was a sequel instead. I will say the people saying that they were expecting a sequel, I think they look the most silly because it's like, damn, dude. It's been out there for some time that they're not making a sequel to this game. But as you scroll down, you just see more and more people dropping pictures and GIFs, just expressing disappointment. And it's just sad to me because, again, I feel like there's nothing wrong whatsoever with Housemarque deciding we want to celebrate our 3rd anniversary of our biggest game. I think that's great. I think that's amazing fanfare. I think it's awesome that they're continuing to acknowledge this game. But I just feel like they kind of messed this up and they dropped the ball and they fumbled it where, in my opinion, you definitely did something wrong if you came out and said, hey, tune into an announcement we have tomorrow, and people are jumping to conclusions that it's a DLC, it's VR, it's something like quite significant. I feel like Housemarque should have put that fire out much quicker and just gave a small little update and just say, guys, it's not like, it's not a DLC. It's something, it's just, it's like, even if they just said, like, keep your expectations in check. I feel like that would have been the more responsible thing to do. The dude, you're saying exactly that. You all jump to conclusions. See, that the dude, I'll be honest with you, man. I feel like that's a bit ridiculous, though. You're saying they don't have to respond to stupidity. Again, in my opinion, there's nothing stupid about, well, you know what? I will say this. This should, let's put it, I don't want to turn this into like a defensive thing because there's nothing to be defensive about. It is what it is, man. Like, I got a little bit excited and I was like, oh, okay. All right. Well, no big deal. Right. But rather than getting defensive about it or calling out, the people who are like, I told you not to get excited. This should be, I think, a learning experience for everyone involved. Right. Like, I think this should, the main takeaway is this, and I don't want to get away from this because this is the most important takeaway. The main takeaway is, and this is something I'm still learning, is you always have to be very careful about what you choose to get excited about. Okay? I said earlier that I'm not one of these people and I don't understand the people who are like, I don't get excited about anything. Like, I can't be like that. I just can't. It's too uninteresting to me if that's how you feel about everything in gaming. But you do have to be very careful about what you choose to allow yourself to get excited for. And I will admit that this was a situation where it felt a little bit like a trap. I was thinking that yesterday where I was like, what if this is truly something just really mega disappointing, where it's interesting that Housemarque is seemingly trying to get our attention. Like, hey guys, tomorrow, tune in. We got something exciting for you, something interesting. We have an announcement to make. But I don't know, man. It's one of these things where look, I'll put it to you this way. The dude, you're saying you shouldn't call it out, be excited, but if it's not what you wanted, it isn't bad. It's just not what you wanted. That's a good way to put it. Yeah, that's a good way to put it. Here's what I'll say. Every time something like this happens, it makes me just care less. You know what I mean? Not in like some kind of dramatic way, but it's just like, now the next time Housemarque, has something to say, I'm going to, like, I'll pay attention, of course, but I'm not going to be paying nearly as much attention because it's like, guys, I'll just wait for, just drop the announcement. When you drop the announcement, then I will care. then I'll pay attention to it, because anything before that, I don't know. I'm liable to assume the best. And by doing so, I'm also liable to be disappointed. We have Waylark Redux with his first time super chatting, so I appreciate that, buddy, saying, you just sound upset about it because you made a video without doing the necessary research. Well, I don't think it's fair to say I didn't do the necessary research. I literally had 3 different pieces of information to show you guys. Piece number 1 was the first tease from Housemarque. Piece number 2 was the second tease from Housemarque. Piece number 3 was Sony XDev teasing it. I will say there was a missing piece, and maybe that was the most important piece. It was the Dark Horse announcement. And again, like, I'm not going to blame myself for missing that, because how could I know? Like at what point when I'm looking at this stuff, am I just going to think randomly, I should go check Dark Horse? If anything, maybe this tells me I should follow Dark Horse on Twitter for any future situations like this. But yeah, I will admit that it was disappointing to me that as soon as I released that video, people were pointing out, like, dude, it's probably just a comic or something. Like, Dark Horse, it's probably going to be like an art book. And I was like, oh shit, I did miss that. And it's like, man, all right, well, that kind of puts that kind of dampens this quite a bit, because I think it pretty much does confirm what we're looking at here. And so it is what it is. I'm not necessarily upset about it. I'm disappointed. I think I'm with I think the disappointed crowd, where I was thinking that this would be something directly related to the game that would kind of give me a reason to maybe go back to it. And I even started to think, a PSVR 2 version, and I will say this, a PSVR 2 version of Returnal would have been a nice shot in the arm for PSVR 2, right? Where I think there's just kind of a lot of question marks about what is Sony doing with PSVR 2 when it comes to, first party support, what's going on there. And, it's we don't know. Like, Sony hasn't really been talking much about PSVR 2 at all. So I just thought, this would be kind of a pretty significant announcement of, like, hey, we have a PSVR 2 mode for Returnal, new update to celebrate the 3-year anniversary. So again, it's one of these things where maybe that is what more people wanted, or a DLC. And yeah, you can't argue with that logic. Hey, you can't be mad at what it is, because there's nothing wrong with what it is. There's nothing wrong that it's an art book. There's nothing wrong that this is how they're choosing to celebrate it. And I guess that's what makes this situation awkward, is it does feel like something is wrong here, but whose fault is it? Is it Housemarque's fault for overhyping it, or misleading people, or allowing the hype to get out of control? Is it the fans' fault for allowing themselves to get overly hyped? I think it's a mixture of both. I think when things like this happen, it's usually kind of a mixture of both, where I think Housemarque was just trying to get people to pay attention, and it worked. And then I think the fans maybe allowed themselves to get a little bit too ahead of themselves and assuming what this could be. And then, meanwhile, there's like a smaller group of people that are like, guys, hold on. Dark Horse retweeted this. Don't get too excited. Guys. that to me is exactly what feels like kind of occurred, where no one is at fault. It's just an unfortunate unfolding of the situation. But you know what? On a more positive note, because I think at the end of the day, no one's really going to care about this. It is what it is. I also will say, I think the fact that there isn't a whole lot of news probably didn't help. Like, maybe people are desperate for some kind of like exciting announcement. On a more positive note, though, I want to say celebrating I almost said Helldivers. I don't know why I said Helldivers. Celebrating Helldivers' 30-year anniversary. Yeah, that'll be interesting. Celebrating Returnal's 30-year anniversary. I will say, shout out to Returnal. Returnal, as far as I'm aware, is like the only actual new IP that we got from PlayStation Studios this generation so far. And it was an amazing game. I was really excited for it when Sony revealed it at the original PlayStation PS5 showcase, the very first one they did. I think it was the very first one. They showed the first trailer of Returnal. I was like, whoa, this is okay, this is looking pretty good. And it came out in 2021, and it was awesome, dude. Like, it was one of the things I remember talking about with Returnal is how it was a very difficult game. And you could tell, like, this game definitely required a certain level of skill. And, my story with the game, I think there's other people that have a similar story, was I really severely struggled with it up until the third biome. And by the time I got to the third biome, I felt like the game was basically breaking me, where I'm like, I don't think I can do this. But I just decided to stick with it. And I don't know how it happened, but at some point, as I just kept trying to complete the third biome and just getting wrecked over and over and over again, it's like a switch flipped, and suddenly I just turned into like John Wick, and I just figured the game out. I don't know. It's like everything just clicked into place, and suddenly I knew how to play the game. I got good at the game, and from that point forward, I just annihilated the rest of it. And I did go on to get the platinum. Fun fact, it took me 100 hours to get the platinum for Returnal because of the glyphs that you have to find. They're RNG. So yeah, I will say that was the only real downside of that game, the way that they handled the glyphs, and the fact that you just had to, boss is licking those curtains. I don't know. He's a very strange cat. Very strange cat. He wants some snacks, guys. So not yet, boss. Not yet. But yeah, Returnal, one of the best games out there, available on PlayStation 5. It's available on PC as well. So if you haven't played Returnal yet, I highly recommend it. I can't necessarily say it will be for you, because I don't think it's a game that's for everybody. But putting the, announcement aside for the art book and whatnot, which again, if you're interested in that, go check it out. It's on Housemarque's official Twitter page. One of the best games we've gotten this generation so far, and can't wait to. I will say this too before I move on to the next topic. I think what this reveals is, man, there's a real hunger. There's a real hunger for more from Housemarque, right? Like, I think Housemarque really left a huge impression, a really positive impression on the PlayStation fan base. Anybody who played Returnal on PC, where like people are like, yo, what's next, guys? What's next? We are ready for whatever you got cooking, whether it's more Returnal or something else. And to me, what's most exciting about Housemarque is they do have a new IP in development. I have the article up right here. Returnal Studio Housemarque's next game will be a new IP. The next game from Returnal Studio Housemarque will be a new intellectual property rather than a sequel to last year's PS5 exclusive. In a new VentureBeat interview, Housemarque CEO and co-founder said the studio's next project is still in the conception phase. Now, again, this was back in 2022. Third-person sci-fi shooter Returnal released for PS5 in April of 2021 and was the Finnish studio's largest and most ambitious project to date, following 2 decades focused on 2D arcade-style shooters such as Super Stardust HD and Resogun. 2 months after Returnal's release, the Finnish studio was acquired by Sony, which currently is focusing on live service, which we've all, again, this is 2022. During the interview, he was asked whether Housemarque is interested in creating live service games and how studios can retain their identity when the games industry landscape changes around them. Well, the jury is still out. We're one of the very last dinosaurs making arcade games. Next Machina a few years ago was very much a shoot-'em-up game in the style of coin ops from the 80s. That's sort of a clue, but it's interesting. We've been thinking about that. We had our stint working on multiplayer games, but a few years back, it seemed like you needed to have some kind of multiplayer experience. We tried that, and we really didn't do it as well. but it's the early days with us starting a new game, a new IP, concepting it out, he added. We'll see what comes with that. And so, yeah, again, like, unless, I mean, plans can change. It's worth noting. This is important to highlight. This was back in 2022, and they said they were concepting a new IP. So there is a chance, although I think it's unlikely, that they could have said, you know what, this new IP, we're having trouble with it. It's not working out the way we thought. Let's just maybe go back to Returnal and let's see if we can actually do something more with Returnal. That is a possibility. But as of right now, I'm assuming that they are still working on this new IP, and I can't wait to see it, man. I can't wait to see it. Yeah, boss is, I'm trying so hard not to, like, acknowledge him too much, because if I do, he's going to be like, snacks, where are they? We have Chris Brown here, member for 9 months. Appreciate that, buddy, saying PSVR 2 is dead if no PlayStation Studio announcement is at the showcase. Sick of only having Quest ports. It's better to get on Meta because no PS Plus requirements. Sony. Chris, I'm in agreement. Truthfully, I am. I've tried to be extremely optimistic about PSVR 2, but I do think that there just comes a time where it's like, we got to just call a spade here. And I think what you're pointing out, like, look, we saw that new Alien game announced for it. We know that there's a Metro game, and these games do matter. I don't want to make it sound like they don't matter at all. They do. But what matters way more than that is how Sony is handling their own $550 VR headset. And right now, Sony's not handling it very well. But to be fair, Chris, and this is what I will say, we don't really know much of anything about PlayStation Studios. So I can't make it sound like, you know, it's just PSVR 2. It's not. We certainly know more about regular PS5 exclusives than we do PSVR 2 games. But I am in agreement that whenever Sony has their new showcase, if it does happen next month, they need to at least, bare minimum, I mean absolute bare minimum, one PlayStation Studio PSVR 2 game. Bare minimum. I don't think that's asking for anything, really. I mean, that's kind of sad that that's the absolute bare minimum. But if we don't even get that, I think it is over. I think Sony's just going to slowly walk away from PSVR 2 until it just fades into nothingness at some point. And I don't think they can necessarily do that quickly because they still do have an audience that plays on PSVR 2. But yeah, I mean, that's the thing, man. When the Meta Quest is out there, like you're saying, PS Plus requirement, it's just Sony's not even just that, but like you do have to have a PS5 as well. There's so much going against PSVR 2. And Chris, you say here, why get a new multiplayer shooter on PSVR 2 when it requires PS Plus? Meta doesn't require that, and the graphics aren't that far off for the multiplayer shooters. Why get Breachers VR when I need PS Plus? No, I'm in agreement. 100%, Chris. I'm in agreement. I think in the end, PS Plus is going to become detrimental to Sony in that more, especially as Sony embraces PC more and more. I think eventually people are going to get very tired of paying to play online. At least that's my assumption, because it is frankly bullshit. You know, like, I don't care if Sony wants to have PS Plus and make money off of that. Sure. Why not? There's nothing wrong with PS Plus in and of itself. But what's wrong is paywalling multiplayer. I'm not in agreement with that, especially, again, like when they're choosing to support a platform, that being PC, that doesn't do that. It's just a ridiculous look, in my opinion. And yes, I don't think that that's helping people decide. Well, I think it is helping people decide what they want to do. Do you want to buy PSVR 2 or do you want to go with the MetaQuest, you know? So, Brian, I think a lot of people feel that way. You're saying you'd rather see Sony release a true handheld. I think a lot of people feel that way. Yeah. And I think we are going to get that. We have Digital Dude 25 here saying Sony better not drop the ball again with this year's showcase. I swear I'm going to lose it if they do. Oh yeah, me too, Digital Dude. See, this is what I mean, is like, there are going to be people who will tell me, like, if Sony announces a showcase next month, there are definitely going to be people that are like, guys, whatever you do, no hype. Don't get excited. And see, that's not going to be me, because the only way I could do that is if I don't care. If I don't care about what PlayStation's going to show and what they're doing, then that's the only way I could conceivably say, oh yeah, I don't have any expectation. But I do care. I absolutely do care, because I've been following PlayStation very closely, and like, there's just no way around it. I do care. And so I'm in agreement with you. Like, I am going to be very upset with PlayStation if they let us down at their next showcase. But I don't think they will. And again, maybe I'm overly optimistic. Maybe I'm a glutton for punishment, but it doesn't matter. Like, I just feel like Sony, you got to have a good showcase. You got to get people excited. I don't think that's expecting too much. I don't. And I feel like if that is the state, like, if expecting Sony to have a good showcase and get fans excited is expecting too much, then I just feel like I'm losing touch with gaming, because I don't think that's expecting too much. Just being honest, Yeah, I'm just going to dress up as a clown for this year's showcase, bro. Yeah, I was not happy last year, Irfan. No showcase, a state of play instead. Oh, no. Mm-mm. Again, I'm being pretty critical of Sony so far, I would say, for the first 45 minutes of this stream, but I think I think it's fair. I think it's fair. I think it's somewhat earned at this point. And the next topic we're going to talk about is a much more optimistic and positive topic, but still, it's like, Sony, please don't let us down. That's all. Just give the fans what we want. What we know that what we want. We know that that, Sony. So just do it. All right. Imagine we just get a dedicated Concord state of play. Oh man. I would laugh. Honestly, at that point, I would laugh. I couldn't even take it seriously. I would just laugh. I'd be like, Sony, there ain't no way, bro. It would feel like a genuine, actual troll. Like somebody at Sony is trying to troll the fan base right now. And it would be comical at that point. All right. So we're going to move on to the next topic. Again, just to wrap up, seems like the announcement that Housemarque teased yesterday didn't really live up to the excitement that fans had, but it's also still nice to see them giving some love to a great game that is Returnal. The next topic talks once again about Stellar Blade. I have a write-up here from Push Square where it says Stellar Blade was the best-selling physical game in the UK last week, with its launch sales on PS5 being enough to see it top sales charts in the region. Sony and ShiftUp haven't shared any official sales data just yet, but this marks a good start for the title, which holds the potential to sell well long-term. Topspin 2K 2025 was another new entry in the UK sales chart last week, debuting in third place. And so if we look at the sales chart here with the week ending April 27, 2024, Stellar Blade takes the number one spot. So again, it's just a very small glimpse into how Stellar Blade is selling. Hopefully we're going to get more concrete information. But this is good. This means it has a pretty good chance of, I think, again, selling very well. However, we have something which I think is even more interesting, where there's another write-up here from Push Square where it says PS5 sensation Stellar Blade has one of the highest user ratings ever. They say here Stellar Blade has proven a hit with critics, achieving a very respectable Metacritic score of 82, but it's resonating even better with actual players, as the title currently commands one of the highest user scores in PS5 history. One of the aforementioned aggregator website or on the website. The title currently commands a 9.2 community rating, putting it in esteemed company with titles like Baldur's Gate 3 and Marvel Spider-Man 2, which are both sitting at an 8.9. So if I head over to the Stellar Blade, it actually went up a point. It's sitting at a 9.3 user rating based on over 2,000 user ratings. This is awesome to see, man. It is. It's honestly amazing to see something like this because it reminds me a little bit of Ghost of Tsushima. Ghost of Tsushima, I remember at the time, a lot of people rallied behind the game, not just because it looked good and it looked like an amazing game, but because people felt like they wanted to communicate, the players, the gamers, they felt like they wanted to communicate a clear message, which is, we want games like this. Okay? I mean, when Ghost of Tsushima came out, there was controversy because of The Last of Us Part 2. It came out a month after The Last of Us Part 2, and it kind of felt like people were trying to use Ghost of Tsushima to say, like, look, we don't, like we want Ghost of Tsushima. We want stuff like this. It feels like this time around with Stellar Blade, it is doing a similar thing, but in a wider reaching way, where, a lot of the conversation around Stellar Blade was about how this is a gamer's game, right? Like, this is a game that's being made by developers that know what gamers want, where it's very gameplay focused. It's not taking itself too seriously. And it's also, not shying away. It's not afraid to do what it wants, based off of what we're saying. It's not afraid to just say, look, here's an attractive female as our main protagonist, and here's some gameplay that on the surface it may look like we're just taking things from other games, but actually if you play it, you're going to realize it feels pretty unique. It'll stand on its own. And it's all just coming together in the best possible way, and I'm happy. I'm happy for it because, I think there's just this kind of concern where you want to make sure that video game developers and video game companies, you want to make sure that they're getting the right message. And to me, the message that they should be receiving with Stellar Blade, and I know not everybody might agree with this, is that, hey, these guys made a really good video game that's very fun to play, and it's very high quality. Please make more. Like, please continue to do that. There's been so much nonsense drama around this game that it is so funny to me to see this, because it just goes to show that the drama that people keep trying to throw at this game from all different angles, it's not sticking. And it's not going to stick, because it turns out the most important thing to gamers is playing good video games. That's the most important thing to gamers. Not politics, not culture wars, not tits. Sorry. I mean, is that important to some gamers? Yeah. But generally speaking, is that the most important? No, it's not. Hate to break it to you. Hate to break it to them. That's not why gamers game. Gamers game because they want great fucking gameplay. That's why they game. And I'll tell you right now, Stellar Blade's got some great gameplay. And it's got a little bit of other stuff as well. So, love to see it, man. For anybody who thought that Stellar Blade was going to crumble or it's going to be some kind of movement against it, well, something tells me those people are going to be punching air today, because the people have spoken. 9.3. I'm not surprised. I got to say. That meme guy says great gameplay and some great booty. There you go, man. I mean, hey, it's got it all. Yeah, that's true as well, Irfan. Hogwarts Legacy also proved that, like, dude, people don't care about the bullshit. People don't care about the bullshit. And that's a great thing to see. Like, when you just look at the cold, hard facts are people are playing this game because it's a great game. And people are continuing to talk about this game and cheering the game on and giving it high user ratings because it's a great game. And the developers are going to be rewarded for making a great game through good sales and making a good amount of money, as they should. See, it's not a difficult It's always been this simple. It'll never be more complicated than this. And you will always, at the same time, though, have people who try to make it more complicated than this. You're always going to have people who try to turn something that is just, again, it's very simple logic. It's 2 + 2 = 4. And they're going to try any way they can to convince you, like, that's not, no, you're being fooled. You're being lied to. Here's reason X, Y, and Z. And it's like, dude, just shut the fuck up. Like, nobody cares. And anybody who does care, I will say this too. Something that Stellar Blade has revealed to me, and I think that this is something that has probably been true for forever. I mean, since video games have been around, or since video games and the internet have been around, something that Stellar Blade has revealed to me is that there are so many people out there that truly are not interested in playing video games. They're just not. They're interested in everything else around the video game itself, but they're not actually interested in just playing video games. This is what I've noticed, is that I still see these people screeching online, and it's like, dude, no one cares, bro. Like, you're screeching into a vacuum, or you may as well be, because the people who want this game already went out and bought it and are like, we're literally playing it now, enjoying it. You're basically turning into that person that's screaming at all the people on the sofa saying, stop having fun. It's just, listen, there are definitely some things that are worth being outraged about and pushing back against. But at some point, you got to be able to read the fucking room and realize that you're just wasting your breath and you're wasting your time. You would be better served going out there and finding something that makes you happy. If you're not interested in a game like Stellar Blade for reason X, Y, and Z, okay, good for you. Go play something else. Let people enjoy the game in peace. But it's just really nice to see that it's finding such big success, because I was a little bit nervous. I got to admit, I was like kind of sitting back and thinking like, oh, here we go. Like, tell me this game's going to have some bullshit surrounding it that it doesn't deserve, because there's just an angry group of whoever, once again doing what they do. And I'm just glad to see that that's not the case here. I'm glad to see that the devs are being rewarded in the way that they should. People are enjoying it. People are happy with the game, and yeah, it's very nice. And I've been playing it a lot more lately. Between yesterday, pretty much yesterday, I put a good chunk of time into Stellar Blade again yesterday, and I definitely got to the second main area of the game, where it really opens up now. And it is somewhat open world. It's like semi-open world. And it's interesting because the game leans way more on like exploration than I think I had originally expected. I was expecting this to be a more linear game overall, but when I reached this, I forget, it's like the scrap area or whatever, it was like a pretty big area to explore. I'm like, I keep finding that there's just all these different smaller areas. And it's not a perfect game. Like, for example, some of the side quest stuff you do is very mundane and boring. Like, truthfully, some of the side quest stuff you do, it's just, hey, go to this area and kill this one enemy. Or in some cases, you don't even kill an enemy, just pick up this thing lying on this dead body. And then it asks you, like, do you want to transport back or teleport back to your base so you can complete the mission? And, stuff like that, I won't lie. It's like, all right, this feels like it's a little bit filler. But it seems like it's mainly there to kind of flesh out the lore and make Zion, like, make it feel more alive, I guess, more lived in, and to kind of give you a greater sense of, like, the people there and whatnot. And so it's serving a purpose for sure. But the thing that I'm finding myself enjoying the most right now, that I'm about like 8 or 9 hours in, I'm finding that there is a very good balance between how big the map is, the exploration factor, and the enemy placement, where it's all, I think, balanced well to a point where there's this kind of rinse and repeat cycle, this gameplay loop of enter a new area, as you're exploring, certain amount of enemies, and there's a reward. The reward is usually some kind of chest, but then there's some other areas where the rewards are even greater. It's pretty basic stuff, but again, it's doing it well, and it's not trying to be. Truthfully, I don't think Stellar Blade is trying to be something special. It's just trying to be a good game. And yes, the music is very good. I have to say, the music is. I thought it was something that was going to annoy me, but it actually isn't. You think Sony censored the gore, though? Hate to see it. That would be kind of surprising to me because, well, I mean, this isn't really a spoiler. One of the first thing that happens in the game is Taki gets her arm like brutally cut off. So it's like, I mean, and I'm cutting enemies in half and shit. And there's blood. So I don't know. I mean, maybe they did. I feel like. I like. Is there like actual proof of that though? I mean, maybe there is, but people want Eve covered in blood. Is that what it is? That I don't think that would be censorship. If that's what you're saying, like people are saying the game was censored because Eve it doesn't get covered in blood. If I had to assume, that sounds more like a creative decision where like, no, we want you to see Eve. Like, dude, do people not realize like one of the main draws of this game is unlocking new outfits and making Eve look a certain way? Like, I could absolutely see the developer being like, you know what, maybe don't let her get covered in blood because we want people to just be able to look at the character. But maybe, I don't know. This is where I feel like people are, I'm sorry, dude, people are weird. People are very weird. And I just cannot understand. Like, I'm angry because she won't get covered in blood. Like, okay. Yeah, man. I'm sorry you're not going to be able to enjoy the game as much now because of that. That's very unfortunate. It's just so weird. Like, what the hell? I don't understand, man. Like, I'm like, I try to understand, but it's like, why? What? Like, how unhappy of a person do you have to be to where it's like, that's going to be why you don't fucking allow yourself to enjoy this game? Come on. I've seen people who are like, oh, wait till it comes to PC. Like, okay, good for you. Then you can mod the shit out of it and play it however you want. She can be fully naked with blood all over her and have a great time, but you do you, man. Like, I'm not doing that. I'm playing the game now and I'm loving it. I will say though, I want to highlight here that I've been unlocking more outfits for Eve, and dude, these outfits are actually pretty cool looking. Like, I feel like there's been a bit of a fixation again on like the sexualization of the character. And don't get me wrong, like, yeah, there are certain outfits that's like, oh yeah, like they're definitely sexualizing this character. But there are actually some pretty sick looking outfits that are not necessarily leaning in that direction that just look cool. So just want to throw that out there as well, All right. We have Kendall Fire 22 saying, if Stellar Blade has a standard looking hero with the same gameplay, do you think it would be getting the sales success that it is currently enjoying? No. This game has certainly received a boost from people who it's an extra incentive. I think the game still would have done well, to be clear, but I think it's doing even better because of the way the character looks and the decisions they made. Because I think there's just this kind of added motivation and incentive to where it's like, well, I want to send a message. And so I'm definitely, like, I think for a lot of people, it went from, I might like a game like this and I'm going to pay attention to it, versus, okay, I do like this game and I'm liking what I'm seeing, but now I have an added bonus incentive to like definitely pick this game up day one or support it. I don't, again, my answer is no, that I don't think it would be as successful if it was just a standard looking hero. But I also don't want to make it sound like that is the number one driving factor. It's not. Again, the number one driving factor and why I believe the game still would have done well no matter what is you could put just a standard regular looking character in there with zero sex appeal and this game still would do well. It would. But I think that considering the current climate, I think, again, it has attracted the attention of certain people that they now feel like, okay, well, hey, this can only help, right? So, Kendall Fire, I appreciate that super chat. We have Chris Brown saying, why didn't Naughty Dog get censored for Owen railing Abby? Well, see, here's another thing about the whole censorship conversation that I don't fully understand. Okay? The biggest thing about the censorship conversation is people claiming it's Sony. Like Sony is making them censor the game. And look, maybe, and I get where that comes from, but like, don't people realize that Sony literally paid to secure this game as an exclusive? They knew what this game was from day one. Like the moment the game was pitched to them or Shuhei Yoshida saw it and Shuhei brought it back to Sony HQ, everybody knew like, oh, yep, okay, that's a very sexualized character. Like, it's there, you know? That's what I don't understand. It's just like, what is, there's just this weird notion that Sony is trying to desexualize the character when it's like, dude, I've seen multiple outfits for Eve that are like, god damn. Like, just straight up, like, whoa, okay. If the idea was to censor the sexuality, right? Anything sexual, like, this entire game would have been reworked years ago. Like, Sony would have said, we'll sign your game, but you gotta, like, completely change the main character. And at the very least, change all these outfits and totally, like, you know what I'm saying? That's what's so weird to me about this, is that the game, from the time we saw it, like, this is kind of what it always was. I don't know. People are... one of the things I saw people freaking out about is that apparently they, like, I guess they censored her camel toe or something. I guess they censored it. Like, dude, I'm telling you, man, these people have never seen a woman in, like, they've never actually been around a woman, dude. I'm telling you. The people freaking out about stuff like that, they don't know. Like, they'll sit here and they'll claim, it's the printable. It's the printable. Like, no, it's not, dude. No, it's not. You need to go out. You need to have human contact. Jay Shocker, you're saying they did. Whatever, man. They took away the fucking camel toe in my game. But, Chris, back to what you're saying. Yeah, they didn't censor that when it comes to... Dude, the funniest thing, and this made me laugh. I won't lie, this made me laugh. When somebody was like... Or when I brought up the point that Sony didn't censor the sex scene between Owen and Abby, and somebody was like, yeah, but Abby looked like a man. And I gotta be honest, like, I saw pictures floating around again recently, and I was like, you know what, dude? Holy shit. She does. She does, dude. Like, I mean, I know she's still a female, but, like, she looked like, yeah, I was like, okay. All right. I mean, most unnecessary scene in that game, bro. I don't know what they were thinking. I don't know what Naughty Dog was thinking. I guess they had to do mocap for that and everything else. I don't know. Naughty Dog's fucking weird, bro. Like, her traps are huge, bro. Well, yeah, whatever. I mean, it is what it is. You know, it is what it is. Rip to anybody who was streaming that game live, man. Came up to that part. They wanted to get a woke audience. I guess that's a way to do it, maybe. But yeah, I mean, look, it's hard for me to imagine that Sony has some kind of intense censorship policy. It is. It's like the developer, dude. The developer straight up said that, like, hey, we like this was we intended it to be this way, and that's hard for me. Like, it's hard for me to imagine that they're lying about that, because it's like, dude, again, like that scene with Abby exists, bro, where it's like straight up. Here, I will say this though. I'm getting in the weeds of it, and I apologize. It's getting stupid at this point. It already is stupid, but you know what? Let me just say this. Let's play devil's advocate here. All right. It would be so disturbingly disappointing if we found out that somebody at Sony was like, yeah, you're going to have to censor her boobs a bit. You have to cover that up. Sorry. Please cover her boobs a little bit more. Thank you. But that same person at Sony said to Neil Druckmann, like, yeah, you can have a full-blown sex scene where Abby's chest is fully naked and exposed. And that's okay, because she basically doesn't have boobs. She basically has pecs. Now, if that, again, playing devil's advocate, if that's what we're looking at, that's a big what the fuck, dude. That's a big what the fuck right there. Like, Sony, what are you doing, bro? But I don't know. That seems a bit I mean, I think that's taking things a bit far. Might be a regional thing. Yeah, I don't know. Who knows, dude? Who knows? That a man? No? Okay, proceed. All right. This is getting out of hand. What are we doing here, guys? Let's get back to the main topic at hand, though, which is, again, just kind of celebrating Stellar Blade in the fact that it's a high-quality game. And I think the developers did a great job. I think they nailed it with the gameplay. And it's always nice, especially during a time like this when the industry, you know, there's so many bad things happening in the video game industry, especially business-wise. It's nice to see a game kind of rise up and find that type of success. And, you know, there's always going to be winners and there's always going to be losers. And I think that the through line and the commonality between all the winners is that they all have great gameplay. And people just thoroughly enjoy their time playing the game. And I can tell you this, if Stellar Blade didn't do that right, if Stellar Blade decided to have this very sexualized, attractive female main character and the gameplay sucked, people would tell you. Oh yeah, people would tell you. And the game would not be doing nearly as well right now. And you certainly wouldn't see the user score nearly as high on Metacritic. So we'll continue to play. I almost said hell. Oh my god, I can't get my shit straight today. I'm saying Helldivers. I keep wanting to say games with the word hell in front of it. Helldivers, Hellblade. We'll keep playing Stellar Blade. They all just start to blend in together. We'll continue to play Stellar Blade, and we'll continue to monitor it, and we'll see if we get any actual official updates from Sony or PlayStation when it comes to official sales numbers. So, Hellerblade. Yeah, there we go. Hellerblade. Hellerblade Diver 3. Yeah, that to me is the funniest part. You're saying the skin suit nerfs you like crazy. There's a price to be paid. I mean, it makes sense though, you know? All right, we have Josh Z here with a $10 super chat. Josh, thank you so much for that, buddy. You're saying 250 hours in Rebirth, and I still have not finished all of the content or started hard mode. There's so much meaningful side content that feels like main story. Game has wrecked my life in the best way. That's crazy, man. Yeah, 250 hours. Holy shit, Josh. Yeah, that game definitely is wrecking your life in the best way. That's a lot of time, dude. That's a lot of time. That's awesome, though. I'm glad you're enjoying it because there's nothing better than that, right? Like, there's nothing better than just having a gaming experience that just, you know, a couple months later, before you know it, you're over 250 hours deep and you're still not done with it. It's funny, too, because I feel like Final Fantasy VII Rebirth's greatest strength is also, to some, its greatest flaw in that I think some people feel like the game is too long or has too much side content, and because of that, it feels like too intimidating to them. But to other people, it's the opposite. You know, people who are really into that type of not just that type of content, but having that much of that type of content, they're very much into that. It speaks to them, and they're the type of people that just like to get totally consumed by a game with this much meat on the bone, right? And it's like I think it creates a divide in a way, because I did know for the time that I played it, yes, like no, I did not finish it yet. I'm beginning to think that the way Rebirth is going to have to be handled is I think an extended period of time is going to go by, and I'm going to come back to it, and I'm probably just going to start it from the beginning again, and just like I'm going to have to like sit down and be like, all right, this is my playthrough of Final Fantasy VII Rebirth from start to finish. Nothing's going to get in the way. I'm thinking that's what's going to... See, I was very nervous when Rebirth came out. I was like, I know it's coming out at the beginning of February, but Helldivers is coming out, and then Rise of the Ronin, and then Stellar Blade. And I had this kind of fear, like, considering how big and massive the game is, like, you know, is this going to be a situation where I start it, but I'm going to be nowhere near finishing it or experiencing even half the content? And that seems to be exactly what happened, because as you can see on the other end of the spectrum, Josh is here with over 250 hours into it. And it sounds like, honestly, Josh, it sounds like it's the only game you've been playing, I would assume, since it launched. Josh, you're saying do it when you have nothing else. That's what I'm thinking, too. That's kind of what I did for Remake, and it worked out really well. And I think I'm going to save the rest of Rebirth for that, too, because, you know, when you have those droughts... They do happen, those gaming droughts. This has been the opposite of that for the past couple of months. You'll really look for anything to play, and you just desperately hope that that thing you are choosing to play is actually good. And so I might save Rebirth for another moment down the line like that. Hello, boss. But Josh, I do appreciate the super chat, man. And again, happy to hear you're enjoying the game this much, bro. Well worth that $70, huh? Unfortunately, though, when we do talk about Final Fantasy VII, it seems like, I don't know, man. It seems like the game is seriously struggling, which is sad to hear, but it just might be the reality of the situation. Josh confirms he has not touched anything else. That's awesome. All right. So that pretty much is going to conclude our topic for Stellar Blade. Good news. We'll have to wait to see if we get official sales numbers. Heatwave says he got Rebirth for $55. Pretty good. That's pretty good. The next topic we're going to move on to, but before we do, I want to ask you guys, please hit that like button for me. We are almost sitting at 150 likes. The likes really help the stream. Let's see if we can get to 175. I'd very much appreciate that. The next topic we're talking about is the Xbox Showcase announcement. This announcement occurred today, and so we have the official Xbox Wire post where they kind of detail a little bit as to what we can expect from this showcase, but we also have multiple leaks as to what will be inside of this Xbox Showcase and what we can expect. So we'll go over that information as well. So let me start here with the Xbox Wire post. It says here, Xbox Game Showcase followed by Redacted Direct. Airs June 9th. It says here, mark your calendars. The Xbox Game Showcase will be live streamed on June 9th, 2024, starting at 10 p.m. PT. Like our double feature last year with the Starfield Direct, immediately following the showcase, we'll be airing a special deep dive into the next installment of a beloved franchise. We can't say much, so for now, we'll call it the Xbox Showcase followed by Redacted Direct. This will also be our first showcase featuring games from our portfolio of studios across Activision, Blizzard, Bethesda, and Xbox Game Studios, in addition to titles from our third-party partners. You'll be able to enjoy both our June 9th live streams live through a variety of outlets and in over 30 languages, and American Sign Language and English audio descriptions. Do you guys see this cat right now? Bro. Look at him. No. Bro, come on. He's chilling on my bicep. Come on, bro. Guys, things are looking pretty dire right now, I'm not going to lie. Boss is in desperate need of snacks, and we have 0 memberships gifted. Come on, guys. What are you doing? No, but check this out. What's interesting is, well, it's not actually that interesting because it's very obvious. It's extremely obvious which game they're having a direct for. It's Call of Duty. Like, it's very blatantly, clearly obvious. They have some key art here. It's Black Ops. It's the next Black Ops game. So June 9th, the official Xbox Showcase, followed by a direct for the next Call of Duty Black Ops game. And they don't really talk too much about what will be there. However, we have a write-up from The Verge's Tom Warren where he reveals some information about what will be at the Xbox Showcase. Microsoft is only teasing the Call of Duty Direct as the next installment of a beloved franchise, but sources familiar with the company's plans tell me that this is indeed Call of Duty. Okay, I mean, look, I get it. It's nice to have that official confirmation, but how the hell could anybody look at this and not automatically know it's Call of Duty? Anyway, says this will be the first Xbox Showcase featuring across Xbox or Activision Blizzard, Bethesda, and Microsoft's Xbox Game Studios. I understand Microsoft is currently planning to announce a new Gears of War game during the show. The showcase will also include a number of release dates for upcoming games like Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024, Avowed, Indiana Jones, and The Great Circle. We'll likely get a date on when the big Shattered Space expansion is coming to Starfield. Todd Howard recently revealed it's due in the fall, and I understand Bethesda is currently targeting September. Activision is targeting the next Call of Duty for late October, with Avowed and Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 likely to follow in November, and then Indiana Jones in December. I understand Microsoft has a lot of games to show this year, more than the 2023 showcase. We should expect to hear how the 2025 lineup is looking, with some launch dates for some anticipated Xbox games. So, again, a little bit of inside information as to what to expect from the Xbox Showcase. I'm sorry, Paul says bro is licking the curtains to get his fix. That's so funny, dude. But we have, right on cue, a 4chan leak that will basically tell us everything that Microsoft is going to show from their first party at the showcase. So I figured, you know, just for some fun, we'll go over this 4chan leak and see what Microsoft has ready to go. And before we do that, we have Exley Get Some Trismegistus coming in here. He's like, you know what? I can't continue to watch Boss just lick these curtains like this, bro. He drops a 10 bomb on us. Exley kicks off the day with some membership gifts. He drops 10 for you guys. Exley.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
That's way too loud. Look at him. Look at the desperation. You're going to fall, dude. Stop.
But that was some fancy shit.
Oh, wait. That was the wrong one. That was supposed to be for Fori.
Say hello
there you go.
to democracy. Get some. Get some.
Good stuff, actually. Really appreciate that, man. Let me add that to the counter here before we go over this 4chan leak. I know, boss. I know you're desperate. We'll get there. All right. We're already at 10. See, we're getting there. We're getting there. Don't worry. An angry whale watcher comes in and he says, I got to contribute, man. I got to help feed the beast. Angry whale watcher coming in, dropping a membership gift, following up Exley, bringing us up to 11 members on the day. So, guys, we're almost halfway there. Really appreciate that, angry whale watcher.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Ow, dude, that hurts. He's putting his claws in he's getting angry. He's putting his claws in my arm now. We have Jenna Hayes here with a $5 super chat saying, do you think Microsoft releasing games on PlayStation will give them secrets to how PlayStation hardware works? It's a very good question. Yes, I do. I think it will. But I think the real question is whether or not Microsoft is going to give a shit about those secrets or not. Because will those secrets matter if they don't care about console sales anymore? You know? And we got Exley coming in again. Exley's doing some heavy lifting today. He drops another 5 memberships for you guys, getting us over the halfway point. Exley drops 5 more gifts and brings us up to 16 members on the day. So, guys, we are less than 10 members away from hitting a goal. We are 9 members exactly away from hitting a goal for the day and feeding the beast. So, Exley, man, thank you so much for that, dude. That's 15 memberships gifted by you alone, which is great to see. Really appreciate that support, bud. Remember, you guys can always gift a single membership if that's something you are interested in doing. We get 5 bombs, we get 10 bombs, we get 20 bombs, but single membership gifts like Angry Whale Watcher as well, they help, man. They do help. So thank you for that, Exley and Angry Whale Watcher. And Jenna Hayes, just to get back to your super chat for a moment here, I do think that with like the PlayStation 6, for example, and even like the PlayStation 5 Pro, I think Microsoft is going to gain access to this stuff, but I just don't think it's going to matter, man. Like, I think Microsoft they already have their own plans for how they're going to handle their new console or their next console. And I just don't think to Microsoft it matters what kind of secret sauce or whatever that Sony is going to have for their new consoles. I just don't think it matters. I think Microsoft is going to keep it very simple, very powerful. I think they're still going to try to have a powerful console, but I think they're going to keep it simple, and it's just going to be like, if you want a very capable machine, I have a theory that Microsoft's next gen console is actually going to be very expensive. I think Microsoft might, like, knowing that only the most enthusiastic Xbox player is going to buy an Xbox, I think that they're going to try their best to make it as powerful and capable as possible. But I think they're going to ask that loyal, those who are remaining, that loyal Xbox fan base to pay a price for it, to pay a decent amount of money for it. So that's my guess anyway. Well, yeah, I mean, they could go in the opposite direction. You're saying it'll be more like the Series S. They could do that too. Yeah, they could do that, but I don't know. I don't think that's worked out well for them so far. I don't think they're going to do a Series S type situation again. But anyway, let me go over this 4chan leak here. Okay, again, it's 4chan. Who the hell knows if this is true or not? But it says here Microsoft will hold their showcase on June 9th, and they will reveal the following. Number 1, new avowed gameplay and a release date. Number 2, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024 and a release date. Number 3, South of Midnight gameplay reveal. Number 4, Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War reveal out this November. Number 5, Starfield Shattered Space DLC reveal and PS5 version of Starfield releasing at the end of 2024. Number 6, Indiana Jones new gameplay delayed to early 2025. Number 7, State of Decay 3 new trailer and 2025 release window. Number 8, Phil Spencer will reveal new white Xbox Series X, no disk drive, but with a new heatsink coming out later this year. What are we at? Number 9, Phil Spencer says Xbox is committed to making new Xbox hardware, teases the next generation of Xbox consoles beyond the Series X and S. And number 10, Gears of War 6 teaser trailer, no release date, but implied to launch with the next Xbox console in 2026. So that's the 4chan leak. What do you guys make of that? Check out our new heatsink. Sony announces PS5 Pro, but we got a new heatsink, baby. You're saying that's for sure made up? Yeah, it's definitely made up. It's so, like, it's just obviously, well, here's the thing. It's made up, but, like, most of that is absolutely going to happen. It's made up of stuff that we basically already know. There's not a single new thing here. The only thing that I guess you could say might be new if it's not made up is I love the idea that this leak is like insinuating that Microsoft's going to announce Starfield releasing on PS5 at their showcase. Like, yeah, I don't think so. I definitely think that's a thing Microsoft won't do. I think Starfield will eventually come to PlayStation, but they're not going to announce that at their showcase, dude. That would be dumb. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, how would you even justify that? All right, boss, come on. Getting a little rowdy here. Thought you would do it. Yeah. Yeah, you know what? You're right. He would do that. He'd be like, Phil, I don't care. You're announcing that shit at the showcase. All right? Phil's like, I don't want to do it. No, you will do it. Do you like your job? Huh? Do you like being the head of Microsoft Gaming? Yes. And you do it. No, but I think that list sounds, I will say, like, if this were to be the Xbox showcase, that's pretty good. That's quite a lot of that's quite a lot of content, first party content. Now, I'm looking at this list and I'm thinking, if this were to be what the Xbox showcase looks like, what would I be excited for? What would pique my interest? Well, number 1, right off the bat, State of Decay 3. I think there was a previous rumor that State of Decay 3 is going to be at the showcase. I'm highly interested in what this game is going to look like because State of Decay 2, not the greatest game. It was pretty decent, but I want to know if this is going to be like that moment where they realize the full potential of a game like State of Decay and realize how much they can do and hopefully actually, like, you know, make it a proper AAA game. If they can do that, I'll be very excited. Be very interested in that. So I do hope State of Decay shows up at the Xbox showcase. Believe it or not, I am excited. I am excited for this Call of Duty reveal. I'm sorry. It's my weakness, but Black Ops, yes. 4 years of development, Treyarch, yes. I'm very interested to see what this new Call of Duty game looks like, dude, because I don't think we've ever seen a Call of Duty game with 4 years of development. And the Black Ops series that's my favorite. That's my favorite out of all the Call of Duty games. And I really enjoyed Black Ops Cold War. I still play it on occasion, get a couple games in. So I'm very intrigued by this. And actually, that's one of the main reasons I'm going to watch this, because I actually really want to see what Gulf War ends up being like. Apparently, they're going open world with the campaign, which is definitely fascinating. I'm really curious what that'll look like. Yeah, zombies, Treyarch zombies. I mean, I think Microsoft, no matter what, has a winner on their hands with this year's Call of Duty. I don't think it's going to be like Modern Warfare 3. I think it's going to be the opposite. I think it's actually going to be good. As in, like, it got a proper amount of dev time. After Black Ops Gulf War, though, I'm not really sure what the future of Call of Duty looks like. They say now, what's interesting about this 4chan leak is it says Indiana Jones is going to get delayed to early 2025. I mean, maybe I could see that happening, but I don't know. It wouldn't be surprising to see if Avowed or Microsoft Flight Simulator there. South of Midnight gameplay, I have absolutely zero interest in that game. Not interested in Starfield. Even if a PS5 version was announced, I mean, that'd be crazy, but I still really wouldn't care. See, the thing that's weird to me about this, and then they say Gears 6. I don't know if I'm going to be excited for Gears 6. I don't know. I mean, I haven't felt excited for Gears in many, many, many years. I know Gears 5 was pretty good, but I don't know, man. I've fallen off when it comes to Gears. But what's interesting to me about Gears 6 showing up at the Xbox showcase is there's been this kind of focus around it. Like, this is going to be like a major, like, next gen moment. Like, this is going to be a huge next gen moment for Xbox. And you know what's really weird to me is, like, again, I don't believe that this 4chan leak is legitimate, but it does say here that there's going to be a Gears of War 6 teaser trailer, and it's going to be implied that it's going to launch with the next-gen Xbox console in 2026. What's super interesting to me about that is Shinobi602, he's pretty well known, and he does get inside information sometimes, and he's pretty good for it. That's kind of the way he described it. Now, he didn't say it's going to be like a next-gen Xbox game, but he did say that, like, it's going to blow people's minds in how it looks. And it is going to be like a quote-unquote next-gen moment. Now, what's weird to me about this is, see, 2026 is the rumored release year of the next-generation Xbox. And so I guess what I'm trying to say here is this idea that Microsoft is going to come out and already show us a next-generation Xbox game, even if it's 2 years away. Maybe, and again, Microsoft already talked about their next-gen Xbox, dude. Something's up here. Like, to me, this is the. No, I see what you're doing. This is what's fascinating to me about Xbox right now, is that they are not shying away from beginning to talk about next-gen. And I'm just starting to wonder if they're just going to take that to the next level and just say, fuck it. Like, we're going to start revealing next-gen Xbox games. Even though we're not starting the next gen for 2 years. And that definitely seems way too soon. I don't know, man. Maybe this is Microsoft's way of trying to get ahead and think, look, Sony's going to have the PS4 Pro. Sony's going to have the PS5 Pro. And for just a brief moment there, everybody's going to think this is the most powerful console. This is as good as it's going to get. But we're actually going to start talking about the next-gen Xbox immediately. And I think we need... Listen, here's my thought on this. I think that if Microsoft starts talking about their the next generation of Xbox console already, I really hope people are not just like, okay. I really fucking hope people are not cool with that, because that's I think that's kind of a slap to the face, to be frank, of like the people who like this gen I mean, it would be such an abysmal generation, bro. Like for the Series X and S. I think they got to like still give it a little bit more time. I mean, I guess Microsoft can do whatever they want, obviously, if they want to start talking about the next generation Xbox and they want to put a focus on it, they can do that. But man, that's so weird to me. Thing just like last gen. I don't know. Even last gen, they really didn't talk about it that quickly. If they were to start talking about the next generation Xbox already, like, look, I was under the impression that when Phil Spencer or Sarah Bond, whoever it was, at that February Xbox business update, I was under the impression that they were just talking about the next Xbox to just reassure people that we're making, and don't worry, we're still making more consoles in the future. We're not exiting the console market. But now I'm beginning to wonder if that's actually part of the plan, where it's like, this is our way where we start slowly talking about the next generation of Xbox. We start now. And then, that we lead with Gears 6. That would be insane. That would be fucking insane, dude. But desperate times call for desperate measures, and I think Microsoft might be desperate. I do. Like, I think Microsoft in the console space might be getting desperate to where it's like, we've talked about this idea that they're just going to basically give up and be done, but like, maybe not. Maybe the opposite. Maybe Xbox's plan is, let's just do things differently, like they've never been done before. And part of that comes in the form of, fuck it, let's just start talking about the next generation Xbox. Fuck it, let's just start showing next generation Xbox games and how amazing they're going to look. I mean, it's not inconceivable when you consider that, like, what does Microsoft have to lose at this point? Boss, no, you can't chew that. So it could be a very interesting turn of events where, I think Microsoft's plan, and this is just speculation on my part, I think Microsoft's plan might be to really try to get way ahead of Sony. Like, we're not going to compete with the PlayStation 6 because we're starting like 2 years ahead. And we just want to like basically reboot the generation. Not with a mid-gen refresh, but like with a whole new console and a whole new generation. If that is their plan, it could go one of two ways. It could either backfire on them because everybody's going to be like, bro, what the fuck? Like, GTA 6 didn't even come out yet. Why are you talking about next gen? Like, these consoles aren't even 5 years old yet. Like, why are you talking about next gen? It could either go that way, or it could go the way of people are like, holy shit, Xbox is back, yo. You see that next gen Gears of War 6, And my question, see, here's what's interesting about this, is if you're Sony, what the fuck do you do? You know what I mean? Like, if you're Sony and this is Microsoft's plan, where it's like, oh shit, Microsoft isn't actually giving up. They're just kickstarting next gen, like now. If you're Sony, you have a choice to make. You either, you do nothing. Like, you're like, okay, go ahead, Microsoft, start next gen. But we're sticking with the PS5 and the PS5 Pro, and that's that. But here's the thing, though. Imagine if Microsoft succeeds. Imagine if Microsoft actually succeeds and they get people hyped for the next gen Xbox. Like, imagine that they show Gears 6 and they're like, "Yup, this is, we're bringing the next gen Xbox in 2026. Be ready for it. Some of our games that you're seeing today are this is what they're going to look like." If it works and it gets people excited, it's like that. Again, it's a big if. That will put the PS5 Pro in an awkward position. Do you see what I'm saying? Where this is kind of like the chess game in a way. Yeah, see, yeah, that's the thing. You're saying, MBG, I'm calling it, no next-gen Xbox game will compete with current PS5 games. And see, that's why I'm saying this could severely backfire on Microsoft, where Microsoft might have this again, it's easy. I'm imagining this is what Microsoft's going to do because this kind of is their mentality now. It's just like, fuck it. Go scorched earth on this shit. I could see Microsoft like basically saying we're starting next gen now. We're talking next gen now. We're showing next gen now. It will be, if they do that, that means that Gears 6, like let's just hypothetically say the Xbox showcase closer is Gears 6. And like Phil Spencer comes out on stage and announces like what you just saw is the next generation of Xbox or Xbox games. Doesn't that just sound like something that Phil Spencer would say or like that Xbox would say? It really does, doesn't it? And I think they're going to do this. And the thing about it though is Gears 6 will have to look fucking literally, it will have to literally look unbelievable. Like, wow, I can't believe that's a video game that we're going to get. Like that's what that's going to look like. Because if that's what Microsoft's plan is, they have to make damn sure that, okay, that's cute, Microsoft. Your next generation 2026 Xbox and Xbox game, Gears 6, here's Naughty Dog's PS5 Pro game. And if that Naughty Dog PS5 Pro game some fucking how like looks just as good, you're fucked. Like you just killed your generation before it even started. So it's this high risk, high reward type of scenario. Yeah, the Coalition is talented and they are using Unreal Engine 5. So it's like it's one of these things again where think of it like this. In other words, imagine if Sony came out next month at a PlayStation showcase and said, here's a PlayStation 6 game. What would your expectations be? You see what I'm saying? Like, dude, your expectations would be this thing has to melt my face. This has to look like real fucking life. Like I have to assume that this isn't even a video game I'm looking at. That's what the expectation would be if Sony came out and said, we're going to show you a PS6 game. So the high risk, high reward situation is exactly what I described, where Microsoft could try to beat the PS5 Pro to the punch. They could try to, beat Sony to the punch because Sony apparently is not planning on releasing a PlayStation 6 until at the earliest 2027, but possibly even 2028. So when you consider that, if Microsoft says, well, if we get out in 2026, we'll have potentially, that's maybe even a 2-year advantage. So there is this high reward factor of like, if they can build the hype quick enough, if they can get people on board, here's why I'm telling you we need to watch what Microsoft does. Microsoft operates differently now. Okay, Microsoft is clearly like the board of Microsoft and the C-suite executives, at Microsoft, they have taken control of Xbox. It's not just Phil Spencer anymore. It's not just Sarah Bond. It's not Aaron Greenberg. It's the entire, they're part of the wider Microsoft strategy now. And what has changed with Microsoft is they are unfucking believably aggressive. Like they are concerningly aggressive to where, again, we went from a Microsoft within 3.5 years that says, here's an Xbox Series X, here's Hellblade 2, and here's Halo Infinite. And that's about it. Sorry if Halo Infinite doesn't look that good. We're going to work on it. They went from that to, we're buying Bethesda, and we're going to buy Activision Blizzard. And we will literally do anything that is necessary. Oh, yeah, and Redfall to get Activision Blizzard. And look at where they are now, dude. That level of aggression, like, dude, somebody took the gloves off it. But it's probably Satya, dude. I'll be honest. I think it's Satya Nadella. Like, somebody at Microsoft basically said, we're done fucking around. We are going scorched earth, and we are going to swing our weight around. We are a multi-trillion-dollar company. We can do anything we want. And that's exactly what they did. We can do the unthinkable. What's the unthinkable? Buying Call of Duty, buying Activision Blizzard, buying the Elder Scrolls, buying Bethesda. This is what they did in a matter of just 2 fucking years, dude. 3 years. They're going to take that energy into the next generation of Xbox. And they're going to try to brute fucking force. That's the word. Microsoft right now is a brute. And they're going to throw their fucking weight around. And that's what they're going to do this time around. I promise you with the next generation Xbox is the way they're going to try to fuck Sony is by undercutting them. I'm not saying it's going to work, but they're going to try, dude. They're going to say, listen, we're going scorched earth with the next Xbox. We want the most powerful fucking console, and we're going to make sure we have it because there's going to be no other console coming out. And we're going to go hard. My question is, see, it's kind of genius unless it again, there's that big risk where it's like, okay, that's great, but like, what if Sony has an amazing second half of the PS5 ready to go? And what about the PS5 Pro? What about Ghost of Tsushima 2 on PS5 Pro? What about Naughty Dog's next game on PS5 Pro? What if those games actually look as good as our next gen Xbox games? Well, yeah, if that's what Sony has cooking, good fucking luck, Microsoft, because you can start next generation tomorrow. It's not going to matter. But it's fascinating because I think it's, look, I don't know. I still maybe have the wrong idea. I maybe still have the wrong idea with Microsoft, but I think Microsoft has basically, by this point in time, convinced everybody, myself potentially included, that they're not really a threat anymore, right? Hey, look, we're releasing some of our games on PlayStation. It's over. Console wars are over. Or are they? I'm serious right now. Or are they? Because I kind of am like, yeah, Microsoft is done, bro. Like, they don't give a fuck about console anymore. It's over. Microsoft doesn't care about the console anymore. It's just an extra bonus thing for them. But what if it's not? I mean, it's a serious what if. Like, what if that's actually not how they view it? What if they're like, no, like, we are going to come back. And we're going to do so in our own way with our own fucking scorched earth brute force strategy. And Sony's not going to be able to do anything about it because Sony's already committed to the PS5 Pro. But then again, there is the whole digital library aspect. Sea of Thieves just came out on PlayStation today, so it's like, maybe I'm completely off the mark. You don't see them trying to compete. Yeah, I guess that's kind of what it boils down to, is like, is Microsoft really going to try to compete or not in the console space? And I just feel like the messaging has been totally fucking mixed. Like, don't you guys feel that way? Don't you feel like, on one hand, Microsoft is like, we're making a next-gen Xbox, and it's going to be the most biggest technical leap forward ever. And then on the other hand, they're like, so anyway, if you want to go buy some of our games on PlayStation, you can do that. It's like, what? It's this very wishy-washy, back and forth type messaging where it's like, I don't know that I want to solidify right now that they're not going to compete. What do you consider compete? Well, I think what I just described, this kind of like super aggressive push, like just fucking, I'm talking like blitzkrieg type push of like, holy fuck, they're talking about next gen. Like they're not hiding from it. Like, we're talking about our next gen. They're not going to show it, but it's like, we got a next gen Xbox coming. That shit's coming in 2026, and it's going to fucking blow your mind. Check out some of these games that we got in development on Unreal Engine 5.4 for the next generation Xbox. They're going to blow your fucking mind, and we're going all in. Right? If they were to do that kind of like blitzkrieg situation, like, but here's the key point, way fucking earlier than anybody anticipated. That's a scenario where it's like, I don't know, man. Could that work or would that backfire? What do you guys think? What do you guys think? Would that work for Microsoft or would that backfire? Should Sony be worried about that? Should Sony be like, oh my God, they're starting next gen and we're basically locked into 4 years of the PS5 Pro. What do we do? Or if you're Sony, are you just like, that's just going to backfire? I think if you're Sony, you probably are pretty chill because you're like, that's cool, Microsoft, but we got our own shit. And when people see it, it's not, you know what I mean? And wasn't Microsoft the one that said that generations are over anyway? I don't know. George says it could work. Steve says it could backfire. It would be pretty, I got to admit, it would be cool to see that though. I don't think that, I'm not like, again, I don't necessarily believe for sure that's what's going to happen, but it would be pretty cool if Microsoft kind of actually came out and said, psych, like we're going all in next gen, baby. It would be cool because it'd be like, wow, okay, they're not done. You know, like it's actually not over. And it would be fascinating. It would be very interesting to see how Sony would react and how everybody would react. And if you think about it, again, what they're doing now could kind of benefit them where it's like, sorry guys, it's over. We're done. We give up. We can't compete. And everybody's like, oh shit, man. Oh, it's over. I guess they're officially done now. And then at the last minute, they're like, actually, hold on. You know, like one last effort. People might, it could kind of rally. It kind of the underdog mentality situation where it's like, oh shit, they're doing it. Yes, let's go. Let's do it again. I don't know. I'm thinking more of like psychologically from a marketing point of view, but Microsoft is very insane when it comes to the way that they are willing to talk about their brands and the things that they say, where it's just like that business update, even though it may not seem like it, like that's like the most insane thing ever, bro. Like I don't think, go back and watch that Xbox business update. Like it's just insane. Where it's 3 Microsoft executives basically sitting there being like, having a podcast saying, this is what we're going to do with the brand. Uh-oh. Hold on. I think I upset somebody here. I don't know what you're talking about, bro. Yeah, I don't know what you're talking about. We got Perfect Image saying, realizing Xbox needs Sony more for some of their games. If Xbox or Sony make a combat-driven game and get out of zombie games, people will buy Sony. They'll still buy Sony for first party. Perfect Image, you know what's so funny about what you just said, dude? Is there was like this leak in the Gaming Leaks and Rumors where it was like casting calls for upcoming games. And I shit you not, 2 of the casting calls were listed as zombie game number 1 and underneath that zombie game number 2. And I immediately thought of your super chats because you're always mentioning like zombie games. And it's so funny to me to think that when it comes to these casting calls, like that's legitimately what they refer to them to, is just zombie games. Say my name, MBG. This guy thinks he's Heisenberg here. Big MP. There, I said it. Yeah, I know you probably get some kind of sick enjoyment out of that. This guy's sick. I'm just kidding. Maybe he is. I don't know. He says you're goddamn right. Well, everybody in the chat saying that. What a good show. Do you feel like that show's been ruined by memes, though? Do you think it's been ruined by memes? I feel like it might have been a little bit, not ruined, but... And holy shit, Big MP comes in, although for some reason he's missing his membership badge, but he comes in and he drops a 50 bomb! Big MP just came in and said, yo, say my name. He made me say his name. He's flexing. He's flexing on us. Holy shit. Big MP, guess what, bro? You should be very happy that you just dropped 50 membership gifts. You should be very happy because you just got Boss some snacks. I know you love Boss. Big MP is here for Boss, guys. He loves Boss. See, he heard. He's very happy. Boss was waiting this whole time. 2 hours in. 2 hours in. We feed the beast. And you guys get some reps now at the end of the stream. That was crazy, though, dude. God damn. A second 50 bomb from Big MP. He's going nuts. He's going nuts. Here we go. Boss is very happy, dude. He's purring so loud. But seriously, Big MP, thank you so much for that, man. Thank you for supporting the channel, for supporting me, for supporting the community, for supporting Boss's addiction, his crippling addiction to snacks. Means a lot, bro. Wow, that's crazy. That is crazy. We are at 66 members. That's actually crazy. I cannot escape the number 66. What does it mean? What do the numbers mean, Mason? What do the numbers mean? That's wild. That's crazy. I'm actually like totally flabbergasted by that. 66 members. I got to update the goal. For those who don't know, I should probably tell you, I've been seeing the number. I know most of you know, but just in case some people are like, what are you talking about? I've been seeing the number 66 everywhere. Like literally everywhere. Constantly. And I don't know what it means. Well, apparently it means something good, but that's insane, dude. So 66 members on the day just crushed 2 goals single-handedly. I see the gifts are still going out. Man, what a crazy way to cap off streaming in for the month of April. What? Hold on. What? The fuck? Hold on. I thought this was a glitch, bro. No way. No fucking way. He just dropped a second 50 bomb. What? I was looking at my secondary feed here and I thought it was just a glitch and I came back and he dropped another fucking 50 bomb? No way, dude.
Holy shit.
That needs some Metal Gear or something. What? The meme guy says you have to oil up now. Oil up. Hold on now, man. Dude, Big MP just had a massive flex here, dropping 100 membership gifts. Big MP flexing on us. He made me say his name. He made me say his name. That's crazy though, dude. We are at 116 members because of that. That is I'm in shock, man. I was not anticipating that. I don't think anybody was. Big MP wasn't even anticipating that. He's just like, well, hey, let's just do it. But yeah, dude, 116 members. Boss, you hear about this? He's just looking at me like, so does this mean more snacks? Damn, dude. All right, yeah, at the end of the stream, I'm definitely going to have to do some reps for you guys because that's I also will use this opportunity to let everybody know because, again, we just went from 16 memberships to 116. Just like that, I will let everybody know if you were gifted a membership, you now have access to the members lounge, and we're going to do a members lounge once we finish up the topics and discussion in this stream. So, holy shit. Sorry, I'm just a little bit thrown off right now, man. Well, I think it's safe to say Big MP is probably going to be getting that platinum trophy start after this Sunday. But yeah, this is just again a good opportunity before we get back into the conversation here. Just want to thank you guys again for all of the support. Really, it's a privilege to be able to do this. I feel lucky in life that this is what I'm able to do, and I do rely on you guys. I do rely on this community. Anybody who watches the content, just have to extend a massive thank you for continuing to allow me to do this here. So once again, before we continue our conversation about Microsoft and Sony, big shout out to Big MP coming out here, not just dropping 150 bomb, dropping 250 bombs back to back, straight up dropping 100 memberships on you guys. Incredible stuff. So huge thank you, man. Huge thank you. I don't want to talk about that, Michael Wernick. It's a fucking nightmare. But hey, man, there's a price to be paid for everything, right? Right? How long do I think my streaming career will last? I mean, I don't know. I'm hoping for a long time. I don't want to put a number on it, but I'm hoping for a long time. Dude, I'll be honest, man. I feel like if I could make it through like the past 6 months, because dude, things have gotten weird in the video game industry the past 6 months. I think the entire video game industry is like, I don't know, just not well. If I can make it through this, I think we'll be good. And dude, Big MP is not done. What's he doing? What is he doing right now? He says, you know what? Here's another 20 bomb. Guys, he is going nuts. Big MP is going absolutely nuts with the membership gifts today. He can't stop. He can't stop himself. He's addicted to it. He's doing. No, I don't think so, Hanzo. I don't think that's why. I don't think that's how that works. But holy shit, Neo comes in and says Big MP is just flexing now. He really is, dude. That's another 20 memberships gifted, crushing another goal. Just brought us up to 136 members. What is this man doing? Is this really Heisenberg here? It must be. And he drops another 10. Guys, what? 30 more memberships. Are you guys seeing this? Are you guys seeing this? He's like, man, MBG's talking about Xbox again. I got to shut this guy up. I know what to do. He drops another 10 memberships, though. Guys, 146 members. What is happening? What is happening? I'm backseating while casually gifting Giga Chad moves. Big MP says they locked my card. I don't mean to laugh, but that is crazy, dude. I'm not surprised. That's, yeah, I don't know if it's like a credit card holder or your bank. They're probably like, bro, somebody got your card. They're spending all your money. I really appreciate that, though, man. Seriously, that 146 members. Holy shit. Was not expecting that, dude. I got to update this goal again. I'm going to put it at, we'll keep it at 150 because that's, wow. I mean, that's kind of the funny thing about streams, you never really know, like, what to expect on any given stream. Because I was just sitting here thinking, like, man, if we could get to 25 today, that'd be amazing. And here we are somehow, some way sitting at 146. But as I say that, Hellbound comes in. Hellbound does it. He's like, hold on now. We got to get to 150. Hellbound drops 5 more membership gifts for you guys. Following up Big MP's, what was that, like 130, 140 gifted? Hellbound, thank you for that, man. He brings us over the 150 mark. What a huge day. What a huge day for membership gifts, man. I'll leave it at 150. We'll see if you guys want to keep it going, how far we can go. But that's that's awesome, man. Gonna break the counter. Love to see it. Again, anybody gifted, make sure you tune into the members lounge. And if you did receive a membership gift, I hope you look forward to it. You'll be able to watch all of the previous members lounge episodes and any upcoming ones for as long as you're a member as well. So thank you. Thank you. Yeah, Michael, that one was nuts. We were talking about that the other day. You missed that one. That one was that was a wild day. A rep for every gift. Oh, dude, I'd pass out. 151 reps. I mean, I guess it would be possible with really lightweight. Well, I don't know. 151 reps isn't that much. Like if you're talking about like doing like a full workout, it's up there for sure. But you could definitely do it. But at one time, oh no, no way. So yeah, thank you guys so much. I think I missed a couple of super chats though. I want to make sure I read them. We have Chris Brown here saying Xbox will be everywhere, PC, Switch, PlayStation, TV, mobile. I agree. Yeah, I mean, they're pretty much halfway there already. That's why I do question the aggressive nature that I'm speculating about here of like, will Microsoft go nuts with marketing their console and really trying to push it? I mean, they still could. They could do both, right? Like, again, I want to remind people that Microsoft is in a position where they're like, hey, we're going to put some of our games onto PlayStation, but we're still going to have some exclusives. We're just going to do both. We're going to be a third-party publisher when it's convenient, and we're going to continue to operate like a traditional platform holder when it's convenient. They could take that approach with their next-gen console as well. And it could offer them a lot of flexibility. Benino, you're saying here with the $2 super chat, releasing next gen early equals COD plays best on Xbox. Money. Yeah. I mean, that's true. There was kind of this speculation happening where it's like, when the new Call of Duty is revealed this year, is it going to be PS5 Pro enhanced? How's that going to work? How awkward is that going to be? You know, where it's like, oh yeah, here's the next Call of Duty published by Microsoft, and it plays best on PS5 Pro. I mean, yeah, that's another reason. I could see that as another reason why Microsoft would be like, we want to expedite this process and get this next gen console out the door. We still don't know, Capono. To be clear, we still don't know. You're saying I can't believe MBG thought Call of Duty was going to be cross-gen. I hope not. Dude, if this Call of Duty Black Ops Gulf War is going to be on PS4 and Xbox One, holy shit. That would, I would still look forward to it, but man, that would definitely hurt my excitement a little bit, where it's like, really? Really? Solaire, no, you're not shadow banned. I can see you, oh, you're asking me if I'm shadow banned. Oh, I probably am. Yeah, unfortunately. I probably am shadow banned on YouTube. I could be wrong, but let me check something here real quick. Okay. Yeah, guys, as we continue our conversation here, I just want to ask one more time to please hit that like button. We still have over 300 people here watching and hanging out with us, which is great to see. We're sitting at 188 likes. Let's see if we can get that up to 200, maybe even 210. It really helps the streams out. You know, talking about being shadow banned, the more likes the stream gets, the more it helps the algorithm, and the more, new viewers we can bring in and hopefully continue to grow this community here. Michael Werneth is screaming, hit that like button. Jay Shako says, this is legitimately nuts, bro. It is. I know. I'm trying to like not let it hinder me too much, you know? You're thinking it's way too controversial? That could be it. Yeah. I mean, I notice since I started streaming more, I am much more liberal in the way I talk about things and, you know, the wording I choose, certain words I choose to use now, the swearing. And I think maybe over time this has kind of, you know, I think YouTube's algorithm may have picked up on all of this. And, you know, so it's not to say that I want to change anything. That will continue. But maybe, honestly, if anything, maybe just less swearing and less words, you know, that. Because sometimes I think I straight up say words on the channel that YouTube is like, they're like banned words. Like, you're just like not supposed to say those words. Maybe avoid stuff like that because obviously I don't want to be shadow banned. We have Nick Taylor here. Yeah, I agree, Michael. I agree. Wes, that might be true. Nick Taylor, a member for 11 months, says, I just got an email that I got gifted a membership, so I'm here. Get some. By the way, try out that Delta emulator app on the phone. You can play retro Nintendo. I did see that going around. Yeah, like this new Nintendo emulator that apparently you can get on your phone. I don't know if I'm going to try it out, but I'm glad you got a membership, Nick Taylor, and good stuff. Yeah, I know you guys are very appreciative of all the membership gifting. A lot of people here have been members for almost a year, and some of them were mostly gifted, you know? Okay, boss. I guess that's one way you can come up here. We have Antonio Lopes here with a super chat. Appreciate that, buddy. He says, it's not the C-suite running Xbox, it's Microsoft lawyers. They want to avoid any unnecessary regulatory scrutiny moving forward. The next merger is coming, in my opinion. That's another very good point, Antonio, that I didn't really think of. I think that you're probably right. I think that is going to happen. And I don't think it's a matter of if, I think it is a matter of when. And considering the litigation that Microsoft had to go through and that whole process with Activision, I think it taught them a lot. And I think that they definitely were Microsoft's lawyers were absolutely taking a lot of notes during that time. And Microsoft, you're right, probably has this, they're probably taking a lot of suggestions from their lawyers where their lawyers are like, do this, this, and that. So that way, if you do try to buy somebody else in the future, when you do, it'll make life so much easier. Yeah, good point. Good point, Antonio. I didn't think of that. Willie Bangs says, I want to thank all the Sony fanboys for supporting Xbox Game Pass and future development. Well, I mean, I guess you're welcome. I'll be honest with you. I can't even tell if that's like I mean, that almost reads as a genuine thank you. So I don't know. I mean, I guess you used the term fanboys, but I mean, yeah, dude, that's exactly what's happening. That's exactly like, that is a fact. Every copy of Sea of Thieves that's sold on PS5, we are funding Microsoft and their endeavors, including Game Pass. I don't think it's a bad thing, though. I don't think it's a bad. I think, you know, maybe it is a bit of satire there, maybe a little bit of sarcasm, but it is like, you know, putting the fanboy side of it aside. It is true. It is true. You know, in the same way that every time Sony sells a copy of Helldivers or Ghost of Tsushima releasing on PC, every copy sold, that's money that's being funneled back to Sony and their endeavors with PlayStation consoles, with PlayStation games, with PlayStation Plus. You know, it's the way it goes, and it's not a bad thing. Someone's got to fund it. But what I'm really interested in, truthfully, like for as interesting as this whole situation with Sea of Thieves and Grounded and Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush, obviously very interesting, unprecedented situation. But I gotta admit, I'm more interested in, if this day comes, which I think it will, what happens when Microsoft launches a big game. I'm not saying Sea of Thieves isn't big, but I'm talking something that's more of like again, like something like a Starfield, or if they bring like a Gears of War game in the future. Really curious to see like what that does, because I don't know, man. Like, I think Starfield could make Microsoft a shit ton of money, like a lot of money on PlayStation. And I think they know that. I think everybody knows that. Like, I think you would see Starfield easily being probably the top 10 most played games on PlayStation, and one of the most pre-ordered if it were to come to PlayStation. And I know what some people are going to say, like, but PlayStation fans told me it sucks. It's like, listen, like, I'm not saying it's them. I'm just saying the wider PlayStation audience, like most of the people that are probably not on the internet or having these conversations on Twitter and shit, you know what I mean? It would probably do very well. And I'm just curious to see if that is part of Microsoft's plan in the future, like how it works. Because what I can tell you is I did not think Sea of Thieves would do this well. Like, Sea of Thieves, I think right now is on the top 10 most played games on PlayStation, and that signals that a lot of people bought it. Stellar Blade's up there too, and we know a lot of people bought Stellar Blade. So, it's unexpected to me that Sea of Thieves is doing that well. Really, like, if I was Microsoft, if I worked at Microsoft, I would definitely be dying to know, like, yo, if Sea of Thieves can do this well, and that game came out in 2018, what could a game like Starfield do? Or Gears. But time will tell, man. Time will tell. Let me cap off this topic, though, because I feel like I definitely got away from it, or the topic got away from me. Getting back to the actual Xbox showcase, for those wondering, I do plan to stream the showcase. I'm actually genuinely interested in seeing what Microsoft brings to the table this year. I've been streaming their showcases every year, and I got to admit, like, I don't look forward to the toxicity that comes along with it, from all angles, where, I get rabid PlayStation fans that are like, I hate Xbox and I'm going to hate everything they show today. But then I also get rabid Xbox fans that are like, I hate that everybody here hates what's show. And it's like, okay, well, I can't necessarily help any of that. But what I can say is that for me personally, I'm actually relatively excited for Xbox to showcase this year, for the simple fact that, well, I know Call of Duty Gulf War is going to be there. I'm very interested in that. I'm glad they're giving it its own separate show, though, because I was really kind of wondering, like, how are they going to squeeze that in there? So that'll be nice to see. But also State of Decay 3, and I am interested to see Gears 6. I don't know if I'm going to be super hyped for it, but again, there's kind of been this conversation around Gears 6 where it's like, okay, like, let's see what you got, Microsoft. Gears 6, Unreal Engine 5, potentially next gen, maybe. We'll see. But they got a lot of studios now, and I think it would be pretty much impossible for Microsoft to have a bad show, considering just how many studios they have. Like, objectively speaking, it's like they'll probably have a solid show that will leave everybody feeling like that was a good show, at the very least. So, I'll be tuning into that, and it hopefully it'll be a good time. I also want to add this before I move on. Now that we have confirmation that Microsoft is hosting their showcase on June 9th, I really want to know when Sony's having their showcase, because, again, one of two things is going to happen. Sony's either going to go before Microsoft and make it either much harder or much easier for Microsoft to walk away having a good show, or they're going to go after Microsoft and they're going to, like, kind of see what Microsoft does and adjust accordingly. If we're going based off of how it went down last year, Sony went first. Sony had their showcase in May, and it was pretty much a letdown. And then Microsoft had theirs like 2 weeks later, I think around the same time. It may have even been the same date, like June 9th. And Sony made it so easy for Microsoft to have a great show and for people to feel good about their show because Sony just dropped the ball. So I'm wondering this year if Sony does go before Microsoft. Hopefully, again, man, they bring the heat and make it. I would prefer Sony makes it harder for Microsoft to have a good show, because if Sony makes it harder for Microsoft to have a good show, then that means that Sony had a good show themselves. I want to see that. I want to see the competition shine through, even though maybe the console space there's not going to be as much competition. I want to at least see it shine through, you know, in the game reveals and the showcases. What if Sony does a state of play in May and a showcase in September? Oh, that would be a huge mistake. I think, Irfan. I think Sony needs to be smart enough to know that you either do 2 showcases this year or one. Like, even if you have to split one big showcase into 2 separate ones, as long as you're evenly distributing those announcements and they both have equally exciting announcements, you can't do that. You know, I think if Sony were to do a state of play and thinking like, yeah, we'll just get by with a state of play, no. It's asking for trouble, dude. Because I don't think Microsoft is going to hold back at all at their showcase. And it's all about momentum, you know? Like, I think Sony would be smart to build momentum going into the PS5 Pro showcase, assuming there's going to be a PS5 Pro showcase. Let's say they host that PS5 Pro showcase in September. If you're Sony, build momentum leading up to that. Don't disappoint people. Don't upset people. You're going to make it even harder to have, you know, to get people to tune in for your PS5 Pro showcase. You have a good showcase in May. Get people good, build that momentum. It'll make it all the easier to get people even more excited for a second September showcase. I'm telling you, they did this back in 2020, and this was the last time Sony did 2 showcases. They had their PS5 reveal showcase in June, and the hype after that was through the roof. And I remember when they announced the second showcase in September, people were like, holy shit, a second showcase? And it was like nearly just as good, and people were very happy, man. And what it led to was a massively successful launch of the PS5 with a lot of people feeling very, very happy. So that's my thoughts on that. Irfan, I agree completely. Yeah, that's what I'm expecting. But there you go. That is Neutral Zone. You're saying Xbox Showcase will be great because the Sony fanboys that always say the show was bad, now they will say, well, we will wait for the games to come to PS5. You know what? That's an interesting angle there. Yeah, dude. At this point, I will say, like, look, somebody in my comment section like a week ago or something, they kind of brought this up where they were like, well, how are you going to move the goalposts now? You know, you went. It's fun. I think it's funny how people think that like I am all PlayStation fanboys. Like, I'm just one person, and I go by MBG here on the internet. Like, I'm just one person. But sometimes when people talk to me or they leave comments, like, they talk about me as if I represent every PlayStation fan or every PlayStation fanboy. And it's like, this person said something along the lines of, how are you going to move the goalposts now? You know, first it was Xbox doesn't make good games, but, you know, now PlayStation fans are excited for them and buying them on PlayStation. So what now? What are you going to say? Like, what's your argument going to be? And it's like, dude, I still stand by that. Like, all of the Xbox games that I thought were not good, I still think are not good. Therefore, I'm not buying or playing them. You know, like, I can't speak for anybody who purchased Sea of Thieves. I can only assume that some people were like, look, I'm not willing to go to PC to play Sea of Thieves, and I'm not willing to go to Xbox to play Sea of Thieves. But hey, if Microsoft brings it here, yeah, I'll buy it and play it. You know, I could see people maybe saying, oh, like, are there people who thought Sea of Thieves was a bad game and then they decided I'll buy it and now, or I play the beta and like, actually, it's a good game. I'm going to play it. Yes. Yes. Are there people who have misjudged these games? Yes, but that happens everywhere. That happens all the time. You know, people misjudge games all the time. And when a company makes it just that much easier for you to try their game or play it, but I'm pretty, like, I know myself pretty well. I know my tastes pretty well. And again, like, I tried Grounded, and it's like, yeah, no. Like, I knew I was not going to like it. And it's not because I went in with a negative attitude. It's just because I just know, like, this is not for me. I know Sea of Thieves isn't for me. I know Sea of Thieves isn't for me because I played Sea of Thieves way back in 2018. It's just not. Same thing with Pentiment and Hi-Fi Rush. Like these games, I just listen, I don't let a platform or platform exclusivity stop me from playing games. I just don't. For example, I'm going to play Hellblade 2. I'm going to do that. I mean, I want to wait to see if it comes to PS5, but then again, it's like, yeah, but what if this is a game you're really going to like? You're just going to wait? Well, you know what? No, I'm just going to play it on my PC. I have it right here. You know, like, why would I wait? And maybe if I like it enough, I'll double dip, get it on PS5, get the platinum. But that's what I mean, where it's just, I think this is where people get too crazy about the way they talk about the platforms, where I don't mind, and I don't think there's anything wrong with having like a level of passion where it's like, for example, I like PlayStation much more than Microsoft, than Nintendo, than PC. And the reason for that is because I tend to like their games a lot when they release them. Does that mean, well, I don't like any Microsoft games now? I don't like any, well, I haven't played Nintendo in a long time, but I'm just going to shun all games from Steam, from Nintendo. I will admit, Nintendo, I've probably neglected the most over the longest period of time. And I'm thinking about changing that with the Switch too. I'm thinking about it. Man, that would be quite the step for MBG. Re-embracing Nintendo. Can he do it? Will he do it? Stay tuned. We'll find out. But, you know, that's just the way it is, man. Like, I have my own tastes. I have my own preferences. And I just, no matter what my opinion is of a company like Microsoft or how they handle things or whatever, like, it doesn't mean that I'm going to look at a game like Hellblade and say, you know what? Because it's got the Xbox logo on it, it's now trash. It belongs in a trash bin. I get people, for some reason, do have that mentality, but I'm not one of those people. How could I do that? Like, I don't understand how anybody could base what they play and how they engage with video games purely on a logo or a brand. Purely. Like, it means something. For example, a PlayStation Studios logo means something to me. And what it means is I'm paying much closer attention now. And chances are I'm more excited now. Right? Because to me, that logo represents something. And in this case, it represents, well, pretty much most of the best games I played, or a lot of the best games I played, have that logo. It's like when people see the Rockstar logo, you know? It's like when they see From Software, it represents something. But to take it to a point where it's like, I will not engage with something if it has this logo on it or it's attached to this platform, I think that's too extreme. Like, I think that's way too extreme. And I'm not sure why. I just don't know why people would consider doing that, because what you might be doing is just locking yourself out of some pretty good experiences that you might enjoy. Again, I also speak potentially from experience here where I haven't played on Nintendo in years, so I don't really know what type of experiences I've. It's not like I'm against Nintendo. Like, I think there's a difference between indifference and like actively avoiding. And I've never actively avoided Nintendo. It's just total indifference of like, I just haven't really been paying any attention. and my interest just isn't naturally there. And so that's why I'm going to be paying very close attention to the Switch 2 to see if I might not be able to. Like, I might just discover, like, no, I'm just not a fan of Nintendo, no matter how hard I try. But I feel like I should at least give them another chance because I completely skipped over the Switch. The Switch 2 seems like it'll be better, obviously, significantly so than the Switch 1. When it comes to Xbox, you know, I do feel like I'm in a bit of an awkward position with Xbox because it's true that, like, I will wonder if when I tune into the Xbox showcase, I will wonder when I see State of Decay 3, like, will that come to PlayStation? I won't know. But what I do know is if it looks good enough, I'm not going to wait. You know, like if it turns out that, like, yeah, it will, like 2 years later. Yeah, I'm just going to play it then on my PC or something because I really want to play it. You know, it's just, that's just how it goes. I'm not necessarily one of those. And I think maybe I confused people with one of my previous streams where I may have misspoke or misworded. I think I left people with the impression that, like, oh yeah, if Xbox brings their games to me, then I'll play them. No, I'm saying if Xbox brings their games to PlayStation, generally speaking, it's going to make people question, should I play it? I didn't have to go anywhere. I didn't have to buy another console. I didn't have to buy another device. They brought it here. Should I play it? Yeah, people are naturally going to ask that question. But for me, if there's a game I'm not excited for, no, I'm not going to wait. I'm just going to go play it. You know? We'll see. We'll see what Microsoft's plans are with that, though. Will I wait? When is Stalker 2 coming out? That game does look pretty good. I gotta admit, Stalker 2 does look pretty good. Although, wasn't there like a rumor that game was going to come to PlayStation like 3 months later? See, if it's something like that, like 3 months, yeah, I can wait 3 months. That's not a big deal. Like, if I knew Hellblade 2 was coming to PlayStation in like August or September, I would definitely just wait. But I don't know that Hellblade is going to come to PlayStation in 3 or 4 months. And it could be years. It could not. I mean, it might not ever. So I'd rather just not wait. And, it's why, like, it's why, there's a separation where I think that there are people on PC where they're like, yeah, I'll wait 3 years for this PlayStation game. I don't care. I'll wait. I'm not like that. Like, I'd be like, I can't wait fucking 3 years. Like, by 3 years later, I'm probably going to forget about the game and not even care about it, But that's just me. Everybody's different. I think 1 year later, yeah, I could see that. That's what I mean. It's like a year later. That's tough. That's like just long enough to where it's like, if it's a game I'm like really interested in, I don't think I could wait. Will I play Hellblade 2 on PC with a DualSense? It's interesting. I don't know, man. I know that there's the Xbox app on my PC. Can you hook up a DualSense to the Xbox app? Does that work? I know you can use a DualSense on Steam. I don't really use Steam. I haven't used Steam really ever. I mean, I still have some Xbox controllers, so I don't know. Maybe if I have to, I'll just play it with an Xbox controller. It's not a big deal, but like you're saying, playing only new games sounds kind of bad to you. There's a lot of slop these days and a lot of forgotten hits. Yeah, I don't know. I'll have to think about how I'm going to play Hellblade 2 on my PC. I want to do it as seamlessly as possible. I might just do it. What I'm trying to figure out is if I'm going to play it through Game Pass or not. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because I feel like if I were to subscribe to Game Pass to play it, people are going to ask me to play more games on Game Pass. And it's just like, I'm not, like, that's not my intention. My intention is to just play Hellblade. And the reason why for Hellblade in particular, like, I don't know, I am struggling with the notion of buying Hellblade digitally on my PC, especially knowing, like, I'm probably going to play it once or twice max. And it's a short game. That feels like a tough one for me, where it's like, they're not releasing it physically. No. If they were releasing it physically, I would have to consider actually getting an Xbox, maybe, but that would be a pretty big investment. So I don't know. It's like, it is pretty tempting to just subscribe to Game Pass for a month to play it on my PC and experience it that way. But I don't know. Because there's another part of me that thinks if they were to bring Hellblade 2 to PlayStation at some point, surely they would give it a physical release. Because it's like, dude, you're going to get a lot of sales just from that alone. And I would be one of them. Like, I would buy Hellblade 2 day one on PS5 physically. But, yeah, it's a tough one. I'll think about it. I'll think about what I'm going to do. Rent it on Game Pass, then buy it on PS5. Yeah, that's an option. That's definitely an option. We'll figure it out. I mean, it comes out May 21st. So we got a couple weeks. Buy the game. I'm not, dude, to be honest, I don't think I'm worried about supporting, it's hard for me to be like, I gotta support Microsoft. Because, like, dude, when Microsoft is making, like, $68 billion acquisitions, it's like, I mean, I get it. You guys still need to get a return, but, like, geez, man, you guys are throwing around money like it's fucking Monopoly money out here, you know? We'll see. We still got some time. Because I do want to support Ninja Theory, you know? I do like them. But it's like, should I really feel guilty if I don't buy their game digitally? You know, are they really going to suffer, or are they just, you know, like, I'm pretty sure they'll be fine. It's hard to say. I do like to buy my games mostly, but this is a particular case where I have to think about it a little bit harder. We'll see, though. Like I said, we'll see. All right, I do have to move on to the next topic, though, which is about Rise of the Ronin. So before I do, guys, do me a favor. Please hit that like button for me. We're sitting at 215 likes. Let's see if we can get to 230 likes. I'd really appreciate that. This new information about Rise of the Ronin, though, is actually good news. This is being reported by PlayStation Lifestyle. Following speculations that Rise of the Ronin sales were off to a slow start, Koei Tecmo has provided an official update on the PS5 exclusive. The company published its financial results for the year ended March 2024 earlier today, in which it mentioned that Rise of the Ronin sales are surpassing that of the Neo series, which is quite surprising because I think the Neo series was pretty well. I think it sold pretty decently. It says here, speculations of Rise of the Ronin's slow sales stemmed from Koei Tecmo slashing its sales forecast and missing its sales goal, with the Team Ninja title being Koei Tecmo's most recent high-profile release. Many assumed that the game may have been overshadowed by Dragon's Dogma 2. However, in a presentation delivered to stakeholders, Koei Tecmo said that not only is Rise of the Ronin surpassing the Neo series despite it being a console exclusive, it's also receiving high valuation by players. The game is considered a priority goal by Koei Tecmo, and the company still appears to be targeting sales of 5 million units. Koei Tecmo says that it took a significant step towards mid to long-term growth by releasing Rise of the Ronin, which happens to be a new IP in a new genre for the company. So a lot of actually like really good news for Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. It does seem like this game is actually doing better than we thought. I was very worried for them, and I did not hide that fact where I was like, holy crap, they're aiming for 5 million sales. That seems a bit too intense for a game like Rise of the Ronin and for Team Ninja, and I'm extremely worried that they're not going to get anywhere close to those sales. However, they are coming out and they're saying that the game is selling better than Neo. It's doing well for them, and they did not, and this is the most important part, they did not readjust their sales. They did not lower their sales goal. They're still aiming for 5 million. So this tells me that they believe they're going to, at some point, hit that 5 million sold, and that's great. I mean, honestly, if a game like Rise of the Ronin is able to achieve that level of success, exclusivity or not, like it's a good game. And, you know, I can understand why Sony was like, yeah, we should try to help these guys, maybe fund this game, because they seem like they're working on something pretty good here. It's not a perfect game, but I put a ton of time into Rise of the Ronin. I think I put over 65 hours, 70 hours into it so far, and very, very close to beating it. And I'm just happy that this is what we're talking about, because I was afraid that the other conversation, or the other way this conversation could have turned out, is it turns out Rise of the Ronin is a massive flop and was completely overshadowed by Dragon's Dogma 2 and has no chance of hitting 5 million units sold. But it's quite the opposite. And I think what I'm wondering is if Sony is planning to really extend or build out their relationship, exclusively speaking, with Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo, right? Unknown, you're saying, so it flopped or not? No, it didn't flop. It's actually doing well. Rise of the Ronin is doing well. It's not like, you know, doing insanely well, like, whoa. It is doing well. I was saying that it seemed like it wasn't going to, based off of what we were hearing. But it is doing well. It's successful so far, and they seem very optimistic about hitting their sales target. And I'm wondering if Sony is going to continue. I don't know if they're going to try to make another game like Rise of the Ronin, maybe. Maybe Sony will try to sign another exclusive deal with Team Ninja. It's worth noting that it's worth speculating this, right? Because when a team signs to make a game exclusively for PlayStation or for Sony, and it does very well, they probably feel more incentivized to be like, hey, let's do it again. You know, like let's see if we could get that success again. And we got Michael Wernick coming in out of nowhere. Michael Wernick is excited about that Rise of the Ronin hype. Coming in, dropping a 20 bomb on you guys. Not stopping this membership train today. Michael says, enjoy, guys. See ya. I'm going to play Stellar Blade. Damn. What a Chad. He just drops a 20 bomb and is like, I'm going to play some Stellar Blade, boys. I appreciate that, Michael. Enjoy your playtime with Stellar Blade, and thank you so much for that, man. So, Michael just brought us up to 171 members on the day. I am in awe. Seriously, like, what a huge day for membership gifting and for support on the channel. Thank you guys so much. It means a lot. Neo says priorities. Absolutely. Absolutely. I was playing Stellar Blade this morning, dude. It's addicting. I will say, like, the gameplay loop of Stellar Blade, I'm telling you, it's that combat. It keeps you coming back. So let me update this it's still doling out or dishing out the membership gifts. I'll keep the member goal locked at 150. But I'll add the rest to the counter when it's done giving these gifts out. Space Gambler Jr. is still waiting for Stellar Blade in the mail. Yeah, I hope it arrives soon. It seems like it's definitely running a little bit late. And Michael Wernick drops a $2 super chat and says, oh yeah, don't forget to hit that like button. Well, thank you, Michael. Michael drops 20 memberships and then a $2 super chat telling you guys to hit that like button. So there's your reminder from Mr. Wernick. And yeah, we're sitting at 222 likes. So you guys are doing very good. Thank you. Thank you for showing all that support. Let me add this now. Put it up to, what I say, we're at 171. I'll just keep adding to it here. I just don't feel like, I don't know. I feel like we hit 150. I don't want to keep pushing the goal higher. That just feels kind of like sometimes during like bigger events and stuff and bigger streams, I don't mind doing it. All right. So I don't have too much left to say about Rise of the Ronin, except that I think the game, not the game, but the developer of the game has a pretty good chance of continuing their partnership with PlayStation. It's worth noting that PlayStation's ex-dev studio was involved with the development of Rise of the Ronin, and so, automatically there was a deeper relationship there between Sony and Team Ninja and Koei Tecmo. And the fact that it's seemingly doing better than maybe what we were thinking, and they're feeling optimistic about it, and they're happy about the sales, we could see more. We could see more down the line. I don't know if it'll necessarily be more Rise of the Ronin, but just more of these types of games from Koei Tecmo and from Team Ninja, which would be cool. I listen. Considering this was the first type of game, like a big open world game, it's a very different type of game. Certainly very different from Neo and Wolong. This is their first time making a game like this. I'm interested to see, I think Leia wants to come in here. I'm interested to see if they were to make another game in this vein, how much better it could turn out. Let me let Leia in for a second. Do you want some snacks? A rare Leia appearance. Come on. Oh, wait, she's talking too. Come up here, Leia. Come on. She's down there chirping. I don't know if it's coming through the mic. Come on. She's being finicky. She always seems like she's suspicious. Like she thinks I'm going to do something. Like, hey, I'm just trying to show you off to everybody. Oh, wait, hold on. Are they going to battle? Hold on, guys. We might see a battle between them. I'm trying to act like I'm not paying attention. Let's see what happens. This is the content that I know you guys tune in for. Anyway, are they being sneaky? Yeah, I don't know. They don't like to fight or battle each other if I'm paying attention, because I don't know, they get all weird about it. This is how they start, though. They start licking each other, but then they slowly start to get more aggressive. It's actually pretty funny. It's time. Kaiju battle. Let them fight. I'm telling you, they're going to. Like, this is how it starts. It's usually pretty calm at first. Love-hate relationships. Or maybe not. Maybe I'm wrong this time and they're not going to battle. I have one more topic for you guys. All right. I think, damn, it really seemed like they were going to. Yeah, he boss is scoping me out, bro. I was noticing he keeps looking at me like, it's like they know, man. It's like they know. Anyway, sorry about that. All right, so we do have one more main topic of discussion for the stream today. It was a little bit crazy today, gotta admit. But so far, I think we've done a pretty good job staying mostly on topic. The final topic is actually some pretty bad news, unfortunately. I'm not excited to report this, but it's definitely necessary because it seems like it seems like the relationship between Sony and Square Enix is going to change. And I don't think it's either party's fault. I think it's just things are not working out the way either of them thought they would. Yeah, I've heard of that band, dude. I think it's so funny, Joshua, that you bring that up real quick because I'm sorry if I offend anybody who's a fan of that band, but I can't listen to that singer. The music is great. I can't deal with the singer. I don't know what is going on there. I'm just being honest, like no hate, man. I'm just saying, like, I can't. Something's not. Yeah, it's just something is not registering in my brain with the sounds that's coming out of that person's mouth. Like, Anyway. Yeah, the music sounds great, though. All right, so let's go over this information. First, I have a write-up here from Gaming Bolt. It says Square Enix has announced that it expects to recognize extraordinary losses for the fiscal year that ended on March 31st, attributing them as content abandonment losses. The Japanese company has, in other words, canceled undisclosed projects, owing to which it will incur losses amounting to over $140 million. The company says it canceled said projects due to myriad changes to a myriad of changes underway in the games industry environment, and has reiterated that it intends to be much more selective about which projects it greenlights and chooses to focus on going forward. At the meeting convened on March 27, 2024, the board of directors of Square Enix Holdings voted, in light of the myriad of changes underway in the environment surrounding its group, to revise the group's approach to the development of HD games with the intention of being more selective and focused in the allocation of development resources, the company says. As a result of a close examination of the group's development pipeline undertaken in keeping with this revised approach, the company expects to recognize approximately $140.2 million in abandonment losses to its books for the fiscal year ended March 2024. As you might expect, no mention has been made of which projects specifically were canceled. And the last major release was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth as a PlayStation 5 console exclusive in February. Now, what makes matters worse here is I came across this on the Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. It says Final Fantasy VII Rebirth seems to have considerably underperformed. Hold on. They are fighting over there. It's happening. Here you guys go. We've been waiting for this. Sorry to interrupt the topic, but look at this. This is the topic. So you can imagine that Leia is like the games industry and Boss is like Square Enix, just really trying to figure out how the fuck he's going to take this on, how he's going to do this. Can you hear the sounds that Leia's making, dude? She's like, the fight of the decade. Oh, hold on. They're still going, dude. They took it to the floor here. I think Leia's had enough. Well, there you go. I didn't know if that was going to happen or not. Let me get my camera back where it's got to go. Backstage brawl. Dude, there's a bunch of cat. Like, I think he like ripped a chunk of Leia's hair out. It's like just sitting there on the sofa. That's funny. All right. Anyway, I'm sorry about that, guys. I totally fucking. I feel so sorry for anybody who's like, yo, I want to skip ahead to see when MBG talks about Final Fantasy and Square Enix, and then in the middle of it, it's like, actually, here are my cats battling each other. Enjoy. Something tells me that's more entertaining though to people than this conversation. They're mad about Square Enix. Wait, hold on. Oh, God damn it. Every time I move, boss thinks it's for him. No, go fight. Go ahead. Ignore me. Go ahead, boss. Okay. No, it's over now. He thinks he's getting snacks now. All right. Anyway. Let me just go over this last piece of information. It is pretty relevant. At least I think it is. We're here for some entertainment. Are you not entertained? See, this is why you guys tune in to the MBG stream specifically, because, yeah, sure, you're going to get some PlayStation and some gaming news, but you also never know when you might get a cat battle or two, you know? By the way, Boss's birthday is coming up. Boss's birthday is on May 5th. And believe me when I tell you, we are going to celebrate that shit on stream. We're not going crazy, but we'll make it. We'll do a little something extra for him. We'll do a little something extra for Boss for his birthday, May 5th. How old is he? I think he's going to be. He's either going to be 6 or 7. I think he's going to be 6 years old. I think that's how old he's going to be. Do I buy them premium cat food? I don't buy them premium. What brand would be considered premium cat food? I'll get him a little birthday gift, yeah. I'm going to get him some catnip, for sure. Dude, there's this brand of catnip called Cat Crack. And it's like... And it's like non-addictive. They say it's non-addictive. And I'm like, what? Okay. How are you going to call it Cat Crack and then say it's not addictive? You're making me a little nervous there. Catnip cupcake. Yeah. All right. I'm sorry. I'm so... You could tell, like, my attention span is just wrecked right now because I can't stay focused. I need to convey this last topic to you guys because it's somewhat important after what we just talked about with Square Enix. Gaming Leaks and Rumors subreddit. Final Fantasy VII Rebirth seems to have considerably underperformed sales-wise. This is according to NPD analyst Matt Piscatella. He's from the NPD. He teased on Twitter about the sales performance of a famous RPG franchise, and he used the Ralph, I'm in danger meme from The Simpsons. He says a full report will come out Wednesday. He says, me preparing to post something about the performance of a new title in a major RPG franchise Wednesday. And I'm looking at his... Well, hold on. Wrong one. Wait, did he delete this? It says this page doesn't exist. Oh, hold on. Was this post deleted? I think it may have been deleted, guys. Yeah, it's not coming up. Huh. I don't know how to take that. Like maybe he just said too much. I don't think it means that there wasn't truth to it, but maybe he wasn't. Well, I just wanted to throw that. Well, now I don't know what to make of that. I had to throw that in there though because could it be wrong reporting? Yeah. I'm a little bit confused. I don't know. Are you saying it's because people attacked him? People need to stop, dude. Like they need to stop. You know, like what are you doing if you feel like you gotta attack Matt Piscatella? Like who the fuck cares, dude? People just need to accept the truth sometimes. Saying you think it's because you got arrested, that's so stupid. That's so stupid. People need to just get over it, man. Like, why are people so soft and so fucking sensitive about the dumbest shit? Like, don't you dare tell me my game underperformed. Like, first off, it's not your game. Okay, you're just a customer, and this stuff annoys me because this is probably why companies don't report numbers and shit. I want to know if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth failed. I want to know. And I'll accept it, you know? Because if it turns out it failed, then it's like, that sucks. And something's wrong. And we need to figure out what's wrong. Square Enix needs to figure out, and Sony needs to figure out what's wrong. Why would this game fail? I think what I will say is this. If it turns out that Final Fantasy VII Rebirth severely underperformed, and it's just basically, like, let's look at worst case scenario, okay? Worst case scenario, the game flopped. If that's what happened, well, there's probably a myriad of reasons why. It's PlayStation exclusive, so it's only on one platform. Automatically, it's a risk. The reality of making your game exclusive, no matter what the benefits may be, like easier to optimize, less stress, don't have to worry about other platforms. Sure, maybe a quicker development timeline. All that stuff are positives that can help, but it doesn't take away the risk. But what if it doesn't sell? You're limiting your audience is what you're doing. So there's exclusivity. Secondly, it is a sequel in what is a 3-part trilogy. So it's in that position where it basically, it doesn't, I mean, I'm going to just say it demands you play the first one. You don't have to, but it is like one of those games where it's like, if you didn't play the first one, I'm not sure why you would dive headfirst into the second one. Without at least seriously considering playing the first one. And on top of all that, it's, I do wonder, in all seriousness, like, I do wonder if the breadth of the game itself has actually maybe caused some people to hesitate, where it's like, let's not forget that they were telling people, like, dude, there's 100 hours worth of 100 plus hours worth of content in this game, and it's open world now, or open zone, or whatever. And I just wonder if some of this stuff just kind of made people be like, I don't know about that. I don't know. I mean, damn, dude, I would say listen, if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, if it is a flop, it could just be there's a difference, I guess, between like underperforming and a flop. A flop to me signals that it really is like, it's just failure, right? If it did that, man, I would really feel bad that it didn't release simultaneously on PC, because it's like, god damn, dude, like, I don't know that if the sales are that bad, I don't know that alone would have saved it, but man, it could have at least helped. It could have helped. And I don't know. I got to be honest with you, man. Like, I wouldn't have expected this. Truthfully, if more data comes out and it just becomes obvious, like, yeah, this game didn't do well, dude, I am kind of surprised that this is the result, because it feels like Remake did so well, or at least well enough. And it felt like there was so much hype behind Rebirth. It becomes a situation where, like, what went wrong? Now, there is the other side of it where if it didn't, Wild Wolf, you're saying it ain't a flop, but like, how do you know though? How do you know that? I don't know that. Honestly, ever since the game launched, it feels like there's just been this kind of air around it, like it's not doing what it's supposed to do. Could the expectation from Square Enix be way too high? I mean, that's a possibility. Certainly. We've seen Square Enix be guilty of that in the past, where their expectations are just like, what? Like, how is that not good enough for you? But we look at their results here and they're saying, bro, we just lost over $140 million this quarter. You know what I mean? It's kind of like the proof is in the pudding in a sense where it's like they're losing money, like a lot. The way that they put it is like extraordinary losses. So it's like, I don't know that there's a way around this one where it's like, guys, I think it may have just flopped. I don't know. And I've said this before. I will say it again. Like if Square Enix has to unshackle Final Fantasy from PlayStation to keep it alive and thriving and to help it succeed, then so be it. You know, this is it's so interesting. We talk about Rise of the Ronin. Rise of the Ronin is finding success by being, I'm not saying it being exclusive is what's making it a success. It's just, it's exclusive and it's finding success. It's a win-win for Sony and for Koei Tecmo and Team Ninja. But we do have these situations where it's like if the exclusivity is not helping and seems to be hurting, then do what you got to do, man. Like don't continue to allow the game to suffer. Unshackle it, I would say. PC, that's already, I think PC is happening for sure. And Chris B, a member for 44 months. Shout out to Chris B. Longtime member here, man. Really appreciate that. Saying, keep up the great content. Well, thank you, Chris. Really appreciate it, man. I'll do my best. I'm doing my best. Yeah, Corey, I see Corey in the chat. Yeah, Big MP stopped by and dropped some fucking bombs, bro. Straight up. Yeah, I do wonder how long it's going to take FF7 Rebirth to hit PC, though, because Final Fantasy 16 still isn't even on PC. So it might not be ready to go anytime soon. And that's the thing, you know, I don't know. I don't know, man. Exclusivity is a double-edged sword. Sometimes I think it can help kind of create, I don't say more hype around a game, but I think it could just kind of help like, oh yeah, it like can help kind of focus people's attention more on a game. And in some cases, I think it can help it. But in other cases, I think it can maybe just hurt it. And Corey the Legend Landiga comes in. He's keeping the membership train going on this massive member day. He drops 10 memberships for you guys.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
But that was some fancy shooting.
Corey making his
You're
presence
pretty
known.
good.
He brings us up to 181 members on the day. Again, thank you guys so much for capping off this month of streams in such a big way, man. I had no idea. I was just hoping maybe we could hit a goal of 25 today, and guys absolutely destroyed it. So let me add that to the counter. And so just to finish off this topic, so we can get to the end of the stream here before we move to the members lounge. It seems to me like Square Enix has some things they have to figure out. I think that they made that pretty clear. They're losing money. They made it clear that they've canceled multiple games and they're reevaluating how they say HD games. I think what they're really referring to is like AAA games. They say they're kind of reevaluating their approach to making these games, and I think that is probably necessary at this point. You know, the business realities and the numbers, you know, they don't lie. They're clear cut. How much this has to do with Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, it's hard to say. But the numbers don't lie, and these businesses, these companies, they need to do whatever they need to do, whatever they deem necessary, to not go under. And when things get dangerous, it seems to me like things might be getting somewhat dangerous at Square Enix. You know, they're going to have to be very careful about what they do going forward. And I also want to point this out too, and I forgot to mention this. I know that there are a lot of people out there that will immediately blame PlayStation exclusivity if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth fails sales-wise. Again, I did acknowledge that doesn't help the sales. Like, sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. But in this case, it would be okay to say if Final Fantasy VII Rebirth failed sales-wise that, well, it being PlayStation 5 exclusive probably hurt it, or at the very least didn't help it. However, and this is very important to acknowledge, Square Enix took that money. They got paid for that. I don't want that to be lost on anybody. Okay? Like, they willingly agreed to it and they took the bag. And, you know, I'm not saying that was the smartest move. I'm just saying, you know, people sometimes, I think they talk about this like Sony got them in a chokehold and was like, you better make your game exclusive. Like, no, Sony said, we'll pay you X amount of money and help market it. And, you know, they probably got good. Yeah, Sony probably paid a shit ton of money for Rebirth. But what this also probably means is that Sony's probably if the game is not doing very well and it's not selling many PS5s, dude, Sony's probably like calling up Square and being like, so you guys want to renegotiate the third game's exclusivity? Although Sony probably already paid for that too. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see what Square does going forward. They shop their games around. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, Forspoken, Foam Stars. There was that other game it was like an attempted live service game and it got shut down in like 3 months. What was that one? Babylon's Fall. Oh my God, dude. You really got to wonder, like, what's going on with some of these game companies, dude? Like, what's happening, man? You know? What's happening? All right. So that's about it. That pretty much does it for... Oh, yeah, and the event... I forgot about the Avengers. Yeah. Wow. Totally forgot about... I mean, dude, you really got to wonder, like, with some of these game companies, Square Enix with the Avengers, and then you get, like, Rocksteady, where they made this Suicide Squad game. So you got to wonder, like, what are you guys doing? How are you messing this stuff up, man? Like, some of this stuff should just be, like, an easy home run. But, yeah, what do I know? Let's see. All right, so here's what we're going to do. Guys, I do have a members lounge that I'm going to queue up once this stream ends. But before the stream ends, this concludes our topics. I owe boss maybe hold on. I'm going to see if I can give Leia a couple of snacks. Probably not going to be able to, though. Maybe I can. I don't know. Let's see if Leia's going to eat some snacks. And then after that, I'm going to do a couple reps for you guys. Because, again, we hit 181 members. We got to get the pump going. And then we'll move to the members lounge. Relax, boss. Relax. Here. All right. Let's see if Leia's going to eat some. There you go. Let's see if she takes the snacks or not. She's very suspicious. Yeah, Leia took boss's spot. Oh yeah, she's going for it. Look at that. I'm conditioning Leia now too. All right, now we just got to get some reps in. Why won't this play, though? Here we go. You want to do push-ups? I do some push-ups. Whoa, whoa, whoa. What's going on here? Did you guys just hear Leia hiss? She just straight up hissed at boss. She's like, get the fuck out of here, bro. This is my spot now. Oh my god. Holy fuck. Dude, the burn in my chest right now, because I trained chest. Not yesterday, I trained it on a Sunday. Oh my god. Holy shit. Push-ups are, what was that, 30? Or 35? They're brutal, man. Once you start getting, once you go past 25, at least for me, I'm still trying to build up my push-up endurance. Holy shit. You really start to feel that burn. If I didn't do curls, I could probably make it to 40. Maybe even 50. I don't know. 50's pretty tough. $60 in 60 seconds? That feels kind of torturous. There was this like exercise song or something. It's like a push-up song where it's like a test to see just how fit you really are. I forget the name of the song. I'm sure if you just searched push-up song on YouTube, it would come up. But basically, you have to follow. It says like go up, go down. It's a song though. And you have to hold it. You have to go at the tempo and you have to hold it. And holy shit, I tried doing it one time. I was like, I can't fucking do this. Do some handstand push-ups next time. You fucking break my neck. Hey guys, check this out. Just lying there. All right. Pants are falling down. I think half my body was cut off with those push-ups, though. I think you can only see like from my could you, how much of my body could you see during those push-ups? Could you see my legs at all? I don't know. Well, there you go. There you go. I hope my form was pretty good, but those reps are for you guys. I'm still on my journey to get son of a oh my god, you gotta be kidding me. All right. All right. Let's see where we at. All right, so 3 hours and 25 minutes. I gotta catch my breath. I'm gonna end this stream. I'm gonna set up a members lounge. So anybody who's a channel member, please join me in the members lounge for a little bit. And yeah, before I go, I do want to thank you guys so much for all of your continued support. Okay, 181 members. You guys are fucking insane. Seriously, I cannot thank you enough for the support. The channel's fan funded, and you guys continue to show up with that fan funding, allowing me to do this. So really, really appreciate it. Also want to make sure I give a shout out to everybody who donated a super chat. Thank you guys for that. And I also just want to, once again, as you guys are heading out, please hit that like button. It helps tremendously. And also, hold on, cat fight. All right, sorry about that. I was just seeing if I could freak him out a little bit. All right, got to give a big shout out to Devil Shooter. He does the timestamps for the streams. Devil Shooter, thank you so much. All right, I know I need some better conditioning, man. I think it's because I'm holding my breath so much. I think I tense up more when I'm doing it on stream. I'm not necessarily fully relaxed. But thank you guys so much. I'm gonna catch you guys in just a minute in the members lounge. So I will see you guys there. And for everybody else, I will catch you in the next stream. So until next time, take care, everyone.